is running out. We've got 5 laps to go. Huffman and Vincent battle it out for the lead. Meanwhile, Chad Cole dukes it out for second as they go into turn 2.
Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put in half a second. Over the wing distance is Chad Cole.
And the winner in race number 1 of the chase for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series Championship and the Bob Earl Racing Mighty $400 will be Landon Huffman in his Chevrolet 55. Huffman goes
1. After a rainout 1 week ago, the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series heads to Pocono for round number 5 of 10 on the road to the Drivers' World Championship and $10,500. Tim Terry, Mike Conti, Dakota Ehrman, Wesley Outland, John Westling here to call all the action for you here on ETV Live. And Mike, there are no rain showers in the forecast, at least what we know of right now. 80 laps at Pocono coming up at us.
A relatively long race tonight here, Tim. One of the slower circuits on the schedule. These guys are going to be running around this place about 53.8, 54 second laps. So 80 laps around here is not going to be a short distance, everyone. Do not fool yourself. 80 laps around this track is definitely tough. It's definitely tricky, which is why they call it the Tricky Triangle. 3 corners at this place. It's like no other track on the schedule. Turn 1 is really bumpy. You pretty much go through the Pocono mountain range when you get down there. Off the corner, car gets really tail happy down the Long Pond straightaway into the tunnel. Tunnel turn is one of the hardest turns to get on the whole iRacing service when it comes to the oval stuff. It is so easy to overdrive the corner, clip the apron, or nail that wall when you come off there. Then you get down to turn 3. Turn 3 is really a cool corner, Tim. You know, you have the grip strip up top where they added that new pavement a couple years ago. You got a little bit of grip up there. You get a nice run off the corner, but the bottom right along the curb, it's kind of bumpy down there, but you know, you can't get a decent run through the center. And if you can carry that momentum up off the corner, you can definitely get down the front stretch with a lot of speed. Head back down to turn 1 at over 205 miles per hour. So quick track, but a slow track at the same time. Slow is fast here tonight. Got a lot of good cars in the field. Looks like Jared Crawford is strong tonight. Danny Hansen looks really good as well. So a couple guys that if you're following the fantasy standings, the ETV Live fantasy standings, I'd be picking one of those 2 guys here tonight.
And we'll get to our fantasy picks in just a moment, but this is a track that always brings out fireworks. I look back to the Drivers' World Championship race. There were some fireworks there between Kevin King, Nick Ottinger. John Adams had fireworks with Nick Ottinger in the pro race here last year. So this track always lends itself to some excitement. I think we're going to see some here this evening. You look at your first 3 races of the season. Last week's results, if you missed it, did not count at Homestead. We got about 30 laps in, and the server crashed on us. So a rainout, I guess we can call it. Adam Gilliland was leading. he's probably going to be an answer to a trivia question at some point because that race did not count. Gilliland still third in the point standings behind Chad Lawton and Jarrett Crawford. Downs, Montgomery, Brown, Jake Sturgis, Derek Crone, Rich Doucette, and Peter Bennett, your top 10 in the standings. Everybody that was suspended for Homestead is still suspended here this evening, so Dylan Duval, among others, will not be joining us here this evening at the Pocono Raceway. Before we get into the pre-race ceremonies, all that fun stuff, let's go through our picks here for this week's racing action for the Pocono Raceway. And guys, it doesn't matter if it's Homestead or Pocono. I'm still sticking with the picks that I had last week. We're going to go with Carson Downs on the A list. B list is going to be Danny Hansen, and I know Mike Conti told me before we went on the air, Danny's got a really good long-run setup. So I like those two J-Show drivers. We're also going to go with Landon Huffman. Was under the weather last week. I think he's going to be better this week. I think we're going to see big things out of driver 75. Mike, who do you got?
Well, tonight, like you, I'm going to keep my picks from last week, give these guys one more chance, see if the server can hold up here tonight at Pocono. My A pick, I'm going with Dustin Montgomery. He's been fast the whole season on a great team and a look for nothing but the same speed here tonight. For the B pick, Matt Whitten. Haven't really heard a lot of him this season. He showed some strength at Pocono, or at Phoenix rather, and didn't really get the finish to show for it. So see what Whitten can do here tonight. And for the C pick, Josh Lawton. I don't really think he's a C driver at this point. Tim, he's just had a lot of bad luck the first couple races, some engine failures, some crashes. So Josh Lawton for my C pick tonight. Down to Dakota with his picks. Who do you got tonight, Dakota?
Well, I've got the guy that I believe should be on the pole tonight. He was the guy that was dominant last week early, the guy to always watch out for, and I know he's a shoo-in to make the DWC series. Jared Crawford for my A pick. He's the guy you really got to watch out for. Kenneth O'Keefe, I know he's scored some, I believe it was Tim Terry or Mike Conti, one of you two. Kenneth has scored you guys some points, so I know I got to go with him. And Alex Sambrone, who I have not used yet, I know he's the guy that you also have to watch out for.
Well, guys, I'll tell you what, since I'm kind of new to the NASCAR iRacing Pro Series deal, I'm just going to kind of just roll the dice and throw the crapshoot. Tim, Mike, Dakota, I'll let you pick one driver each who will be my 3 picks tonight.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and throw out Wesley Outland's A pick with Richard Doucette.
Yeah, I don't have the standings in front of me, but I'm gonna have to hope that he's a B driver. You know, he's a B driver. I have faith in Matt Whitten tonight, and Wesley's gonna have faith in him too. Matt Whitten for the B pick for Wesley.
We are going to go with the formal Penguin, I guess you can call it, or the Penguin car, whatever he calls it. He might go with a Hawaiian shirt next week if it doesn't work out. Josh Connors in the number 15, and he ran pretty good at Homestead, so I think he might have something here for these guys. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the C draft, Josh Connors for the C pick. Let's take a quick break.
Now, the question is, though, guys, are y'all going to throw me under the bus? Are these really good picks, or am I in trouble? Or are these guys going to be a chance to win?
I picked Connors a couple of weeks ago, so it's not too bad, I guess.
Okay.
Let's take a quick commercial break here. We'll step away for just a few moments' time. We'll let Wesley try to figure out who he has for picks, and we'll be back with the green flag from Pocono for round number 5. Don't go away.
Hey dude, are you ready to rock and roll? If that's cool, then you need to do it over at HD Radio Network. HD Radio Network, 4 stations broadcasting 24/7 with everything from metal favorites to the 80s classic rock like legendary Leonard Skinner, Electric Light Orchestra, Foreigner, and bone-rattling, skull-crushing rock and roll on hard driving radio. Bear Factory, Stone Temple Pilots, Def Leppard, and a whole lot more. HDRadionetwork.com. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hey, right when we get back, and Tim just start going down the running order. All right, everybody, let's send it down trackside for the 4 most famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
And let's go down our starting grid for this evening's racing action. 80 laps at Pocono for round number 5 of the NASCAR Iracing.com Pro Series. On the pole, it is Jared Crawford putting in a time of 53.536. To the outside, 78 in the Pro Geek Consulting Chevrolet, Danny Hansen.
Yeah, about a tenth and change behind the top 2 starters. Philip Geist in 58 will start 3rd tonight. Outside of him, my A pick, Dustin Montgomery in the 8th.
Another guy that really needs a good run this evening is Josh Lawton in the 40. He's going to start in position number 5 into the outside 66, Benjamin Burmeister.
Starting in 7th is the number 12 of Joey Brown. Outside of Brown tonight will be Carson Downs, number 97.
The Twitter car starts in position number 9 as the field will begin to roll here. It's Rich Dew set to the outside 72, Josh Berry.
Number 75 car, Landon Huffman, will start 11th tonight. Outside of Huffman, the number 34, Matt Lewis, 12th.
International row in row number 7, Jukka Savalainen on the inside from Finland in the 13 to the outside from Smithville, Ontario, Kenneth O'Keefe.
Paul Kashiba, the number 32, starts 15th. Outside of him, your points leader, Chad Lawton.
Got Cody Biles, the inside of the next row in 27 to the outside. Jake Sturgis, 41.
31 of Peter Bennett will be 19th tonight. Outside of him, Alex Chambrone will round out the top 20.
Jarl Tyen will roll off in 21st. 22nd is Derek Crone.
23rd is the 77 of Andrew Fayesh. Third, outside of him, will be Brandon Cattell in the 14th.
Kyle Gatula rolls off in 25th, and the Sea Giraffe to the outside, Josh Connors.
Starting way back in the field tonight, a guy that's pretty far up in points, Adam Gillen, the number 81, starting 27th. Outside of him, the number 22, Rob Ackley.
Vinny Sanzone rolls off in 29th, completing your top 30 is the 92 of Casey Malone.
Brandon Bookberger in the number 17 will start 31st tonight. Starting 32nd is the Schmidt and Chassis Works car, Brandon Schmidt.
And completing your field of 34 drivers is Matt Witten in the number 69 on the inside of the final row, and it is the 48 of Brad Wright going to start scratch on this field. Jared Crawford and Danny Hansen working through the final straightaway, looking at corner number 3, and we will get ready to go green here, Mike.
Yeah, this is going to be a great race tonight. A lot of solid racing here at this track. DWC, we saw 5 wide into turn 1 on one of the restarts. I expect nothing less tonight, Tim. Pace cars to get ready to pull off here. We're going to get going to green.
Restarts here at Pocono are wild. We are getting ready to see the first of what could be many starts here this evening. As the first racing Ford Mustang pace car heads to the infield, Jared Crawford is on the hammer. Green flag flies for the first of 80 laps, and the 78 of Danny Hansen trying to keep pace. He'll fall into line behind them. It's 2 wide, stacked about 8, 10, 15 deep.
Yeah, they're 2 wide all the way back to the caboose in the field right now. Got Danny Hansen, he slots into second with a great restart right there at 78 car, but he's under pressure from the 8 Montgomery as they exit the number 1. Oh, big wreck in turn 1. 32 around, 75 around. Looks like Chambrone might be involved in that as well, Tim. Nice size accident down turn 1. Not sure what happened.
Lazy spin for a couple of drivers. It starts at the 96 of Rich Doucette going into the corner, and I saw this with a couple of drivers going into the corner. It looked like the tires not up to temperature yet. Obviously, we didn't have a lap of green. The 96 nearly spins. The 75 of Landon Huffman gets into him, and he goes for a ride. 32 of Paul Kashiba, who's had a pretty solid season so far, pretty quiet season in the 32. He goes for a spin. Andrew Fash, the third, this is his home track. He's going to go for a spin as well, but not a whole lot of huge damage to any of these race cars. Nothing a little pit stop can't fix, I don't think. So the caution flag will fly for the first time on lap 1 of 80.
Actually, for a car spinning sideways in the middle of the pack in turn 1, where you got cars all over the place, that was a pretty nice job by all those guys back there to miss them. Paul Kashiba didn't get a lot of damage at all. Maybe a little bit of front end damage there, maybe a little bit of right side damage, but he's not even worried about pitting right now as he stays out. Looks like Derek Crone, Alex Chambrone, the team cars are pitting. Dakota, what do they have in terms of damage down there at this point?
Well, it's hard to say right now as the teams are still looking over the cars, and we won't know for at least another half a lap as the cars are still pacing out there. We're just going to have to sit here and wait and see what these crews decide and what to do with these cars.
I'm looking around here right now, Mike, and I'm seeing a couple of drivers out in front who have been up front the full season long. At Chad Lawton, this is the deepest we've seen him in the field right now in position number 13, but we look at Jarrett Crawford and Danny Hansen. Danny's had a couple of drives to the front already this season. Destin Montgomery has been up there as well. This could be a very interesting opening laps to this race, especially with guys like Chad Lawton and Rich Doucette starting outside the top 10 on this restart.
I've already seen with Rich starting deep in the field, he's already made one mistake, and luckily he got away with it without any damage. So a break for the 96 early on in this race, but Chad Lawton started 16th. Through all that melee, he picked up 3 spots. He's already up to 13th. So Lawton, he's an experienced sim driver. He knows what to do, and he knows that he's got to get out of the middle of the pack because, like I said before, the restarts here can get crazy. We've already seen one crazy restart, and I'm sure we're going to see more. Coming down pit road, it looks like Doucette's going to lead him in, Savaline and everyone else behind him. Down to Wesley with some updates from pit road.
Yeah, Doucette's number 96 Chevrolet Impala going to come on to pit road. Rudis from the crew, they're going to take on 4 tires, that on some Sunoco gasoline. Cody Bias in the 27 Chevrolet also is in. Here comes the 32 of Paul Kavechka. They'll all come in. They'll take on right side rubber. Now the crew goes to the left side. That on, going to clean the tear off, and they'll be ready to send those cars down and away. Nothing really being talked about on the radio as far as making adjustments, except just getting some new fresh rubber, put some fuel, keep the cars at least fresh for the go run after this caution, and they'll be ready to come back out the green flag, and they all scamper out of pit road.
92 of Casey Malone misses his box completely, just drives through pit road, so I'm sure if he needs some service to that number 92, he'll have to come back in to pit road. A lot of drivers stayed out, only 1 lap on the tires. A lot of those guys that came down were outside the top 10, and I think some of those guys saw the guys in front of them pitting and said, why not? Let's come down and get some adjustments made to the car after 1 corner.
Yeah, we're to see here tonight, Tim. Tires do mean a lot. I've driven a couple of races here this week, and I was doing a race with another fellow DWC driver, Brad Davies. He took 2 tires on a green flag pit stop. I took no tires, and he ended up pulling a 2.5-second lead in 10 laps. So even if it's 2 tires, any tires are better than no tires tonight. That's one of the keys to the race. And another thing that we haven't really touched on tonight, but it's going to be a big factor in being good on the short run and the long run. We're going to have to shift here tonight. A lot of the fast drivers, they will be shifting. They're either using that 364 gear or the 370, and in 2 of the 3 corners, at least turn 1 and turn 3, they're going to be shifting from 4th to 3rd and center of the corner, gets that car to rotate a little bit, and they get a nice drive up off the corner. The downside to that is, 1, they use more fuel. The average fuel window here tonight is going to be 32 to 35 laps. When you're shifting, depending on the gear, you might take a couple laps off that. So if this does come down to a fuel mileage race, these guys they're going to have to stop shifting, or they're going to have to pit for more fuel, and the guys that aren't shifting aren't going to have to pit at all. And also shifting, like we saw with Doucette right there, I'm not sure if Doucette did it or not, but it almost looked like, Tim, he might have shifted 3rd gear too quickly on the cold tires and swung that rear end around. So shifting is going to make you faster here tonight, but it comes at a risk as well.
And of course, sometimes you have to make those risks in order to be fast, and especially with a NASCAR sanctioned win on the line, I'm sure these guys will do a little bit more to try to get that checkered flag and get those prestigious points to lock themselves into the top 25 to get into the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship, which will begin in February. 25 drivers await the 25 qualifiers from this series. For more information and how you can get involved, head over to iRacing.com. And Mike, brand new website over there for the folks at iRacing this week. I had the opportunity to check it out here this afternoon, and they did a fantastic job with their new digs.
They most certainly did a nice new look to it. That site had been up since really its inception in 2008. You know, minor changes here and there, but this new site is the complete overhaul as they go into their 2013 season, and the season 1 of 2013. They'll have a brand new public site to go to, and they're always changing the member site as well with new cool things to add on there as well. So nice to see that member site up there, and I'm hearing possibly in the works could be dedicated websites for the 2 DWC series next year as well. So we've seen what they can do with the public site. I can't wait to see what they can do with those 2 new sites next year also.
It's going to be exciting to see what happens there, and Ray Alfalo, of course, will be going for 3 in a row in that NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship, but the guy beside me made a valiant effort trying to stop him this year, and I'm sure he'll be back with a bunch of strong competition to boot, and maybe 1 or 2 guys from this Pro Series. We'll have to wait and see. The First Racing Ford Mustang pace car getting ready to head to the infield once again. Lap 4 completed here. Crawford on the hammer. Green flag flies. The 83 is gone. 78 looking for a place in line. I think he's going to find it here. It's side by side for 3rd. Montgomery on the inside.
Yeah, it looks like Josh Lawton, my C-pick, who's up there as well, doing good tonight in that respect. He's going to try to go 3 wide right here. Not going to make it happen, though. The battle is going to be for 3rd down through turn 1. You can see all these cars bobbling and weaving over those bumps down there. Oh, these cars do not like bumps, do they, Tim? But it looks like Philip Geis, he's going to get the run off turn 1 on the outside line. He'll take over the 3rd position. Dustin Montgomery kick back to 4th. Josh Lawton looks on from 5th.
Great run for the Germans so far. Philip Geis in the 3rd, 4th. Dustin Montgomery and Josh Lawton in the 5th. Single file throughout about your top 10 as Benjamin Burmeister looks to make the move on Joey Brown. Brown on the outside, the 66 of Burmeister on the inside looking to make something happen through 2.
You can see those 2 distinct lines right there. The 12 up in that grip strip, The 66 down on the bottom. Looks like the 12's going to get the run all the way down the front stretch. 66 has to bog it down a little bit. 34, Matt Busa gets a nice run as well. 34 looks to make a move down to turn number 1. Not going to happen. Busa's going to stay in there. He's going to keep that position to battle. He's going on behind them now. The 97 under attack from the 26 of Lawton. That's Carson Downs in 9th. Chad Lawton in 10th, battling for position, but it looks like they're going to single file out for now.
And just in front of them, it looks like Joey Brown will maintain the spot over the 66 of Benjamin Burmeister. And just in front of them, side by side again, Philip Geis on the outside, 58. And the 8 on the inside, a Dustin Montgomery for 3rd. And Montgomery, oh, Brown just behind them goes for a slide.
Yeah, we got action all over the racetrack. The 8 and the 68, or the 58 almost got together right there off of turn 2. The 12 got a little piece of the wall off turn 2 as he gets really sideways in the middle of 3 right now. A lot of racing going on from 3rd back to 7th right now. 6th or 7th still side by side. The 8 clearly gets around, or cleanly gets around the 58 right there. 40's now going to try to take a spot away as well. It's Josh Lawton. He's going to go down to turn number 1 on the inside, the preferred line. 58's going to yield. 40's going to try to take the spot, but not yet though. It's a little bit of the bumps down there. 58's going to make a valiant effort on the outside to hold them off. Side bow, they're getting real close too. Side by side, still you have Joey Brown and Benjamin Burmeister battling for position. So a lot of hard racing up front early on in the going.
And you talk about these bumps in this racetrack as Josh Lawton continues to look at Philip Geis for position number 3. I saw that 40 come up off corner number 1, and you can see him hit those bumps, and it almost didn't like the bumps as it looks like, is that Carson Downs? Carson Downs to the inside of the 66, looking for a spot as the 40 once again looks for a spot in the 58, and the 58 goes high, wide, and handsome in the corner. Give it to the 40 of Josh Lawton, but Carson Downs, and he's got Chad Lawton in tow. They're coming to the front.
Yeah, Philip Geis is up there in turn 3. That's a little bit out of the grip strip, and he can get a huge plow up there. So you don't want to be up there, so he's going to recover. He'll fall into the 5th spot. Now it's Carson Downs trying to get under Benjamin Burmeister. Not going to happen. Burmeister closes the door. 8th place is still held down by the 97 of Downs at 26. Lawton gets a nice run as they all get really close to the wall right there off at turn number 1. Single file they go down the Long Pond straightaway. Nothing really happening right now between 3rd to 8th. Looks like the battle is on back here. 10th, 11th, 12th. That's O'Keefe, Busa, Sturgis, Brad Wright. Started at the tail end of the field. He's already up to the 13th position right now. So good effort by the 48 so far, picking up over 20 spots.
Chad Lawton is done with Carson Downs, or at least as Downs pushed through the field. Chad Lawton says he wants the position. He wants to be the snowplow. He goes underneath the number 97 as he tries to make the move on not only him, but the 12 as well. Here comes Josh Berry at 72. Berry in Speedco. Chevrolet Impala looking to make up a spot and follow Chad Lawton to the front of this field as Lawton gets loose.
Oh, hang on with Chad. There you go. Looks like those Wheelman cars are loose. He's still loose. 12's loose. 97's in the wall. Oh, the 34 hit the wall. Everyone's in the wall, Tim. Okay, now the 97 gets around the 12. That's Carson Downs up to wherever he is up to now. Now he's under attack from the 73 of O'Keefe. 97 wide. Oh, he's way out of the group. He's going to lose 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots into the wall. He goes 48 around, 04 around, 34, 26. Gillen and Peter Bennett's going to try to take a position his way as well. So that 97 Downs, he picked up a spot and he ended up losing 10 in that exchange. So it just shows you how fast things can happen. A lot of cars do not look like they're handling very well right now, Tim. I see a lot of loose cars out there, including that 26 car Lawton, your points leader, who almost bit off a little bit too much than he could chew and won.
Chad Lawton and Carson Downs were 9th and 10th last lap. They are now sitting back in 14th and 16th place respectively after one lap. So you mentioned it. That's one thing a slide can do, and that's knock you back a bunch of positions. Jake Sturgis starting to move back up into the picture. Brad Wright, as you mentioned, after starting deep in this field, is up into the top 15 right now. Josh Perry starting to make a move. There's a lot of drivers here that are looking to make a move early as we work lap number 10, and Joey Brown still all over the place. The rear end of that car is not happy right now as he's going to save it again. Great save by the 12.
Oh, now they're going to go 3 wide. Oh, hang on to it. He's going to slide up a little bit right here for right on the top. Brown on the bottom. Brown's really loose again. He's not going to get any run off there. Wright's going to clear him easily. Here comes Tyne. He's going to try to look for a hole. He's going to push the... Oh, no, he's not going to push him. He's going to try to look for a hole on the outside. Not going to happen. 41 Sturgis still down there as well under the 04 of Tyne. This is all for battle 12th, 11th, 10th. Everyone back here battling hard right now. Looks like Lawton's made a nice recovery. He's back up into the 13th position after losing a couple.
Yeah, a lot of drivers have their hands completely full right now. Chad Lawton trying to pick his way back up through the field as he sits in position number 13 and looks at 12 as Jake Sturgis is now to the outside in the number 41 as 26 moves up one. Now looks at Jarl Tyen for a spot as Joey Brown back on the attack on the 48 of Brad Wright as he goes underneath in corner number 3.
Yeah, when Brown can get off a turn 2, he could really make some moves as he gets a little bit tight under the 48 right there now. He's a little bit loose again as he puts the power down, probably in 3rd gear right there. Shift to 4th. Adam Gilliland almost in the wall back there in the 15th position. Big sideways for everyone right now, Tim. It just looks like these guys have these cars set up so loose so they can get over those bumps in turn 1 and 2, or in turns 1, so they don't plow. And 2 as the 12 and the 48 make contact in 1. They bounce off each other, damage to the 48's door. You can see they're into each other. 12 is going to get passed now by the 04 of Tyne. Here comes the 26 of Lawton. That's 10th, 11th, 12th. Looks like 13th back here, so right outside the top 10. A lot going on right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of anxious moments back here. The 12 and Joey Brown has had quite a few in the last few laps. Wesley, what's the crew saying?
Yeah, one thing that's going on at the top of the war box is they're talking to the driver, the 12 of Joey Brown. He is tight in, loose off, and if you notice, that car is very, very handling. As the field continues to run by him, the car gets really loose off the center of the corner. It starts to straighten up down the straightaway, but just like you get around the tricky triangle here at Pocono, as soon as you gas it down the straightaway, guys, you go back into the corner, the car wants to come right out from under him. He's doing everything but fight the kitchen sink. You see the car drift up the top of the racetrack, exiting the Long Pond straightaway off of turn number 1.
And now they're still side by side back here, a little bit further back now. 16th and 17th. You have Kashiba on the outside. Brandon Cattell on the bottom. Cattell had a decent run 2 weeks ago at Phoenix before getting taken out in the late stages. So 14's been a pinball this season. Not really any of his making though. He's going to try to get a clean run in here tonight as he moves into the top 16. That should be now Kashiba's under attack from the 31 of Bennett on the inside. That should be for the 17th position now. Bennett with Connors in tow. The Tuxedo car looking to make up a couple positions, Tim.
Nice little battle around 10th as well as the 26 makes up a spot. The 04 of Jarl Tyen makes his way up into the top 10. Brad Wright gonna lose too, but as you mentioned back there around 16, Josh Connors is looking to make something happen. He was up in the top 10 when the server crashed last week, was looking for something big. He really needs to turn his season around and turn his season around in a hurry if he wants to make his 3rd consecutive NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship, and he battles with Paul Kashiba right now for the spot as the 32 to the outside. Here comes 75, Landon Huffman making his way back up through the field.
Yeah, Connors definitely is going to take that spot. He starts to pull away from 32. Looks like the 32 might be facing the ill effects of having to spin that car out in the opening lap. Looks like those tires might be a little bit hot right now, a little bit sticky, and not necessarily doing what he wants them to do right now. A little bit further behind him, Carson Downs has fallen outside the top 20 now. He battles for the 21st position with Rob Ackley, with Rich Doucette behind him in 23rd. So Downs, another guy that's up in the points, not having a really strong run tonight. But everyone that he's chasing, like Lawton, Gilliland, all them up there, they are making up points on him right now as they're running ahead of him on the racetrack. So 97 Downs, they'll be looking for that first pit stop to make adjustments and get that car to the front.
Let's take a quick look up front with his teammate Danny Hansen in 78. That's the battle for position number 2 as Josh Lawton has caught the Pro Geek Consulting Chevrolet, and Dustin Montgomery is there as well. 40 flashes the nose to the inside of 78. He's going to try to hit that grip strip going into the corner. Hansen going to have it on the outside line, but he's not going to have the position. 40 moves to position number 2, and here comes Montgomery trying to stick in corner number 3, trying to get something happening on the 78 at Danny Hansen as they go for position number 3. Meanwhile, up in front, it's all Jarrett Crawford by 3 seconds.
It looks like Hansen's going to let by Montgomery for that 3rd spot. So the faster, he's going to let it by. Smart championship move right there by Danny. To give him that spot, he's got a hole behind him. Don't want to race and hold each other up behind him. You've got another international flare going on back here. You got Philip Geis in the 58, 5th. Right behind him, Benjamin Burmeister in 6th. So a strong run by those two. Benjamin Burmeister is one of those stories, Tim, where he didn't, he missed the corner right there. He didn't even make the Pro Series in Season 3. Missed it for, like, I believe the 3rd time in a row or something like that. Really crazy stuff is going on. He missed it by a couple points, and through some luck of his and some bad luck for Brad Mahar and Josh Gerald, as we've documented before, the 66 and Benjamin Burmeister. He got that final pro spot in the series, and he's making the best of it. Had some troubles at Phoenix, picked up a couple incident points there, but currently running a clean race in 6th here at Pocono. So good job by Burmeister to make a nice comeback.
And he's going to have his handful in a couple of moments because he has Kenneth O'Keefe and the 72 with Josh Berry to his rear bumper. We talked about an international race. Kenneth O'Keefe from Smithville, Ontario, and just behind him, Josh Berry, the Motor Mile late model champion this season for JRM. So it was a great season for him on the real track. On the virtual track, he has to qualify back in for the Drivers' World Championship through this Pro Series. So a couple of drivers on different agendas here this evening as they try to work their way past Pocono. Kenneth was pretty happy with what his race car had during the practice session, so we'll see what he has on the long run as he pushes up to the 66 of Burmeister. A little bit loose in corner number 3 for Burmeister. He collects it off corner number 3, and he drives to the line to complete lap 17.
And Burmeister can stay in the 3rd gear right there. It looks like he's got a little bit shorter 3rd gear. Brakes, tires loose a little bit easier, and definitely see that off in turn 3 right there. Got loose and lost a little bit of momentum, but the 73 also got loose, 72 as well, so they both had to check up as the 58. Guys gets out of the groove just a little bit right there. So 66 a little bit loose right now, but it looks like everyone's a little bit loose. Back of the pack a little bit more. I'm looking outside the top 10 once again. It seems to be where all the action is. Still single file right now, but a close race between the 81 of Adam Gillen back in 14th, 15th of Sturgis, 16th. Right, he's fallen back a little bit, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. You can throw a blanket over him at this point. Looks like the 81 of Gillen might be holding up this pack just a little bit as they're all starting to stack up behind him.
You read my mind, Michael. I'm looking back there at that 81 of Adam Gilliland. That's your 3rd place point man right now, and he's running back in position number 14. He's got to start picking it up, albeit it is early, but we are coming to that 1/4 distance mark in this race. Adam Gilliland is one of those drivers that knows where he needs to be at the end of the race, and Gilliland right now knows that you can't win the race on lap number 19 or lap number 20, but with his nearest point competitors running ahead of him right now, he can stand to gain some points here this evening if he can pick it up.
They definitely can. He's just going to hold it together right now, the cars, and handling like he wants it to, but really no one's at this point is, and he's just going to hang on to it. We'll have a pit stop probably in the next 12 to 15 laps or so. So if they can just get to there, they'll be okay. It looks like Carson Downs back here, I'm keeping a half eye on him right now, back in the 19th position going for 18th. He was 23rd a couple minutes ago, Tim. Looks like that 97's found a rhythm once again, and Carson Downs is now coming up to the front. And we talked about Danny Hansen having a good long run setup. Hansen's currently in 4th. He lost a couple spots. Looks like he's stabilized now. 97, though, it looks like his long run setup is starting to come in.
And you talk about Carson Downs. Carson and Chad Lawton fell back around the same time, and Carson took a little bit longer to rebound compared to what the 26 car did. Downs back in 18th place. Chad Lawton in position number 9 and running really all by his lonesome right now, as he has about 3 seconds between himself and the next driver for position, which is Josh Berry and Kenneth O'Keefe and the 66 of Benjamin Burmeister, and added to the list of 58 of Philip Geis. It's a 4-car battle for position number 5 as they head towards corner number 3.
Yeah, they're single file right now, like you said. They're about a second behind the pack in front of them of Josh Lawton, Dustin Montgomery, and Danny Hansen. So they got a little bit of a buffer in front of them, and then behind Barry, there's another 1.5 gap behind him back to Chad Lawton in that pack. So they've got a buffer right now. They're staying single file until now, when you have a battle for 6th. Kenneth O'Keefe to the bottom. Outside of him will be Benjamin Burmeister. He gets real loose in the bottom right there. He goes from 4th to 3rd. He's going to gather it up, try to get it run off the corner. Zach 66 is going to get the best of him. Burmeister holds on to position for now. Josh Berry, the 72, gets a little bit of the wall off 1, but that won't hurt too bad.
And it lets Philip Geis get away just a little bit in the number 58. I'm sure that's what he wants to see in the rearview mirror, more side-by-side battling for position at number 6. Just looking up in front of these drivers here, Josh Lawton and the 8 of Dustin Montgomery and the 78 of Danny Hansen still single file, and they are single file over 4 seconds behind Jarrett Crawford, who is currently putting these laps in the books as we have 21 completed right here for the 83.
Yeah, I'm looking at Crawford's lap times, and he's been really fast this whole run. I mean, he's been in the 54 54.6 is a lot, the 54.7 is a lot. The guys behind him have been about 4/10 off him. Now it looks like that car is starting to get a little bit looser out from under him. Looks like the setup might be going away a little bit. Last time by ran a 55.01. That 83 car, he might have just made a little bit of a mistake that last time by and kind of slowed it up. But he might be losing the handle just a little bit. But if he can get away like this every restart, Tim, and not have any challenge for the first 15 or so laps and build a lead like this, really wouldn't matter if his car is good in the long run. You know, he'd have that buffer to be able to fall back on. So we'll see what that 83 can do here up until the next pit stop. Like I said, should be about 10 to 15 laps until we see that pit stop. We'll keep an eye on how that 83's lap times compare to the guys behind him.
And looking through this field, at least the first half of this field, I think the closest battle on the racetrack is fifth on back at guys, Burmeister, O'Keefe, and Barry as they go at it. O'Keefe looks like he's trying to set up that number 66 going down into the corners, especially on these straightaways, getting a little bit of that drop, getting a little bit of a run, but he just can't seem to put it anywhere once he gets to the corner.
Yeah, it's really hard to set up a pass here. Oops, he gets a little bit of the wall right there. O'Keefe does now, the 72. Barry's going to have a run on him going down to the tunnel. Let's see what happens right here. O'Keefe puts the block on. Barry respects that. He's going to back off. Still early in the race, and Barry knows that. He's just going to back off and give him that for now. I'm sure if that were 10 laps ago, he wouldn't have been that nice. But anyway, so I was trying to say, it's really hard to set up a pass here, especially down to turn one. You can really get into the corner well on someone. You can get to the center, but like I said, when you get to the center, you get to the bumper, you have to check up, and then they can sprint off the corner, and then you're in the dust and the weeds, not going anywhere, trying to get past the guy behind you. So, you know, really the best passing opportunities are down into turn number 1, down into turn number 2, and down into turn 3. And if you can make the pass on entry and clear them before the center, you'll be pretty good up off. And it looks like got a car down pit road, guys. Joey Brown making an early pit stop.
Yeah, the number 12 of Joey Brown going to come on to pit road and take on some new tires, get a new side of rubber, add some of that good racing fuel as well. They're going to also make a chassis adjustment on the right rear of the car as right now the crew goes quickly to work. He's the only driver solo on to pit road. And, you know, you got to wonder, Tim Terry, this might give this driver an advantage. He came in outside the top 10 when he, or outside the top 15 when he hit pit road. We're still waiting to see the other drivers cycle on and come to take on pit stops. This might be a great gamble that might pay off for Joey Brown.
You have to wait and see on that. Brown was fighting that car on that run, so we definitely need some adjustment to that race car. One driver that's going to need an adjustment too is that 48 of Brad Wright. He's falling back through the field. He was in the top 10 just a few moments ago, and now he's sitting in position number 16 and battling to keep that spot with Landon Huffman. And the 14 is here as well. And Mike, I don't know if we can explain Warp. But, he's going to wreck somebody. He does that again.
You're both seeing the same thing right there. Yeah, it wasn't very pretty at all, guys. So he was warping really bad through the corner, and it looks like one of those cars might have lagged into him when he was gone, and he was turned half sideways. Luckily, he was able to turn that thing back, going straight. He's okay. He's back in the server now. No warp issues for the 14 at the moment. But if that continues to happen, you can bet your bottom dollar that one of the 3 or 4 Iracing officials will send him a private message, tell him to park it, get it fixed, or just do something. But gotta get out of the way at that point when you have that issue. We saw Brandon Bookberger, who early on in the race have those kind of problems, and he was nice enough to fall to the back and give these guys some room. But Cattell needs the points right now, so he's got to stay up there and fight for everything it's worth.
Yeah, he's still having warp issues. It's not as bad as it was, but he's still disappearing from time to time, and especially in a close pack like this. He's got Josh Connors just behind him, Rob Ackley just in front of him, but behind Connors, there's 3 or 4 more cars there. So it's got to get resolved for the 14. If not, I'm sure race officials are looking at that and possibly warning the 14 as to what could be done next. But nevertheless, Brandon Cattell needs a good run here, as you mentioned, running in position number 20 right now.
I look back at him, and then I look at Carson Downs. So again, I've been watching him come up through the field a couple moments ago. He was in 18th, lap 26. Now he's in 14th, running down the guys in front of him really quick. So 97 car once again coming to the front. So that second Pro Geek car, he's showing that he's got something to race with tonight too. That's nice to see. Carson, a good driver, been very consistent this season. Had his troubles at Phoenix, which were pretty funny, but not good in terms of points. Not funny when it came to the points tally at the end of the day. So Carson trying to make up some lost points on the points leader, which is Chad Lawton. Right now he's 6 spots behind. Make that 5 spots behind now. Looks like he's a little bit faster than Lawton, so maybe he can if he can catch a caution or maybe play some pit strategy, get up there with the 26, I'd like to see what those two can do and see if they can battle that out.
Your leader continues to be Jarrett Crawford by nearly 5 seconds now as he bypasses the mouth of pit road. 27 laps in the books this time. Josh Lawton in position number 2, Dustin Montgomery, Danny Hansen, and Philip Geis, your top 5. O'Keefe currently has position number 6. Josh Berry in 7th. Benjamin Burmeister has fallen back to position number 8. Chad Lawton in 9th, and Jarl Tynan completes your top 10 on lap 28.
Yeah, about single file right now for the top 10. Looks like Kenneth O'Keefe tried to make a move on the 58 right there down to turn 1. Tried to pack it in there a little bit deeper, missed the corner, slid up the track, and now he's going to have pressure from the 72. Barry once again for that 6th spot. Looks like he's going to retain it for now. Barry looks to the bottom right here, too far back to make anything happen. He's going to back off. 73 continues on the 5th position, but he misses the apex once again. So Tim, it looks like these guys now, maybe they're not so loose. Looks like they're starting to tighten up as this run goes on. Maybe that'll be a trend we see throughout the race.
And you look at the difference right now as the 83 comes across the stripe. This time that last lap by was a 54.961. Josh Lawton and Dustin Montgomery have been consistent in the 9s, and it looks like those laps there for Lawton and Montgomery just over the 55-second mark, and then those guys behind just start falling off the pace a little bit. So Crawford consistently faster per lap, and obviously it's showing on the racetrack. He's 5 seconds ahead of the rest of his competition.
He's really good right now. Let's go on board with the 83. Let's take a lap around this track with him right now. He's all by himself. He's got no pressure right now. 83 car. Let's hear when he shifts. Let's see what this 83 is doing for you guys at home that maybe raced the A car at Pocono last week and maybe struggled just a little bit. I'd listen to this 83 car. I'd listen to Crawford and see what he does right here. We're going to go around this track with him one time. Off at turn 3. You can hear he's going to shift right about there. 3rd to 4th gear across the start-finish line. 180 miles per hour. He runs a 55.02 right there. So now it looks like that 83 starts to fall over that 55-second mark as well. Down to the turn number 1. Brakes kind of late. Starts in the 2nd groove. Shifts down to 3rd right there. Down to the bottom. Slowly modulates the gas. Up off the corner. About 160 miles per hour. Down the Long Pond straightaway. He's already up into 4th gear. He's going to pull about 200 down here. Maybe 195 on older tires. Down into turn 2. You cannot overdrive this corner. Everybody, you have to back this corner up. You see he does. Still in 4th gear all the way around turn 2. Doesn't shift right there. Nice square exit off 2. Right up next to that wall. Down the short chute into turn number 3. He's going to hook the thing right down to the bottom on that apron. Down to 3rd gear. Get that thing to turn. Here he comes. A little bit of a push in the center. Going to arc it up off the corner. And that's a lap around Pocono. Perfect. He's going to pit right here. Down to Wesley Outland. What's Crawford saying on the radio? Looks like that car is doing pretty good right now.
Oh, everything is going absolutely perfect, guys, on pit road. They're going to tell him point blank right now, we're just going to take on 4 new sets of tires, make a little chassis adjustment on the left rear, tighten up the car in the exit of the corner, but other than that, we're good to go. As he'll now fall back to 3rd, he'll fall back a couple more spots as well. More cars are behind him as well, as Jarrett Crawford now comes to pit road. More cars. Dustin Montgomery's on pit road. He'll be, Josh, well, right now, I'm actually surprised, guys, because I'm looking and watching. Nobody really inside the top 10 really followed Jarrett Crawford, except Dustin Montgomery and all these other guys stayed onto the racetrack. Will this be a costly mistake for Jarrett Crawford, or will this be a winning momentum gain for the driver of the 83, who has pretty much dominated in the first 30 laps of this race?
40 in at the opposite end. Here comes Josh Berry, Kenneth O'Keefe, as they're going to race their way down into pit road. Dakota, what do you got?
More tires of fuel for Josh Berry, and as well as the same thing for Kenneth O'Keefe. I know O'Keefe is making several changes to that machine. Very, very loose off, especially if he clipped the apron just wrong when he was working traffic there. O'Keefe now making it into a stall as several cars go by.
Joshua Lawton's car is also on pit road, guys. He's going to take on 4 tires, add some Sunoco gasoline. Josh Berry's entry. Landon Huffman on pit road. Kenneth O'Keefe. A whole host of others that were on the lead lap that missed pit road when the 83 went in. Now they take their opportunity to add on new fuel and tires as they exit pit road now.
And at the opposite end, Dustin Montgomery going to come down onto pit road after leading a lap and getting a very valuable championship point. That might be the difference to possibly winning a championship this season should Chad Lawton have issues. 8 car down on pit road, guys.
Yeah, here comes the 8 Chevrolet entry of the Impala of Dustin Montgomery. His crew has already gave him the word as well up on the water wagon. Take on 4 tires as everybody else has here on working on lap number 32 and 33 of completion. They're going to jump onto the right side. Crew member going to give a tear off. They're going to make a chassis adjustment on the left rear. Also going to give the driver a little shot of Gatorade, give him a quench thirst. And actually, now he drops the jack. Crew down in a way, and everybody else jumps on back to the racetrack. He'll join the rest of the field. And another car, looked like the 04, also behind him, came to pit road. So this cycle of pit stops are now starting to slowly come to an end. But Chad Lawton and Benjamin Burmeister are the only drivers left to come to pit road, guys.
Yeah, Lawton's going to come in right here, Wesley. He just led a lap, got some bonus points. 26 has been a little bit off the pace of his teammates. What are they going to do on this pit stop?
Yeah, got to keep him busy on the midsection of pit road. Now run to the other end of the main part of pit road as the 26 Chevrolet Chad Lawton comes on to pit road. That Chevrolet Impala comes to a stop, and here comes another machine passing him as well. They're going to add on another 4 tires on the Goodyear rubber, and here comes also a squinch of thirst refreshment to keep these drivers cool on a cool night here at Pocono Raceway. It's a long event, believe it or not. Even though it's cool outside, it is hot inside these race cars. Temperatures get up to almost 200 plus degrees, but they're sticking it out here. And his car's down off the pit road. Chad Lawton back onto the racetrack, joining the fight here at Pocono.
Benjamin Burmeister is going to inherit the lead right here, coming out of turn 3. Looks like he's going to bypass pit road one more time. So that 66 Burmeister looks like he's at a little bit of a different fuel strategy right now, everybody. So we'll see what he can do right here. He's stretching it further and further and further. This thing's got a really lean and green look on it right now, Tim. The further you can stretch the fuel, the more you'll be in that window to make it on possibly one more stop till the end.
Yeah, I'm looking at that number 66 right now. I'm thinking if he can make maybe 1 or 2 more laps and we get 2 or 3 cautions at the end of this race, could that possibly be the difference on making this race on 1 total stop?
This is going to be really close. I mean, Burmeister's on the right strategy right now if he can do this the next run. I'm not sure if he saved any this run. It sure didn't look like he was saving any when he was racing with O'Keefe and Barry and Geist and everyone back there. So it looks like he might not be shifting right now. Maybe he has a different gear in. We're going to go on board with that Benjamin Burmeister machine as he's going to come down pit road, this time by Wesley Outland. Down to you on 66.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, guys, he about locked up the rear end of that car, cocked it sideways, dirt tracking it, so to speak, as it came onto pit road. But now he's got to make sure that he does not go over that pit road speed penalty. 55 is the pit road speed. If he goes over that, he will get a penalty from the iRacing officials. Benjamin Burmeister now going right behind the pit stall number 3. They're going to jack up the right side of that number 66 Chevrolet. Going to actually add on a chassis adjustment to the left front. More cars are also on pit road behind him. The 27 iRacing entry of Cody Bias is on pit road. And looks like also the 92 OKC Malone also leaving pit road. So 3 cars coming on, taking 4 tires at Sunoco Fuel, and don't forget the 3-car Brandon Schmidt. He comes on to pit road as well, and they're all down and away.
And we'll look for the number 22 and 15. They are currently your leaders now. Rob Ackley, Josh Connors, and I believe Brandon Bookberger will be your top 3 when scoring will loop. Now 15 is going to come down onto pit road. The Ultra 4 Sim, Tim's Corner Motorsport, Chevrolet Impala heading down to pit road. I believe the 17 is going to come down as well, guys.
Yeah, green flag pit stops continue along. Josh Connors in that 15 Chevrolet Impala ready to take on the same thing in this green flag rally of pit stops. Now just about 3 laps to halfway. 4 tires, gasoline, new Goodyear rubber. He'll be down and away, and let's see what Bushberger's going to do at the midsection of pit road with Dakota Ehrman.
Brendan Bushberger coming down, 4 tires and fuel, same call as everybody else. Very few changes on the car, except I believe they are changing a battery on the machine as he is having several electrical problems right now, guys.
Looks like Rob Ackley is going to pit this time by. I've been listening to his car the past couple times. He's went around the start-finish line. He has not been shifting, so that 22 car stretching into lap 37. Going to come on to 38 right here. If he can do that one more run, he'll be on a one-stop strategy as well. Caution is out. That's going to bite the 22 right here. Now you're going to hear he's going to start clutching it right now. Everyone else is on the lead lap. I'm hearing Joey Brown had a problem, so that's going to hurt his night. But this is really going to hurt Rob Ackley and help everyone else that's that already pitted that's behind, because everyone's on the lead lap.
And you know what? It's going to be an innocent victim for Joey Brown as Adam Gilliland and Jarl Tyen get together going down into corner number 1. And Adam had some issues last night in a late model race, the All-Star Sim Series. He's going to experience some more problems here as the 04 and him get together. And the 12 car of Joey Brown, it looked like a little bit of net code there, and you can explain the net code issue that we have with this iRacing service, Mike. But 12 car goes down the racetrack, 34 is there. They don't make contact on my screen. It could be different when we look at the replay, but the 12 and 34, the prediction code thought it was going to be there, and the 12 car just goes head on the fence.
Hey guys, can I say something as well real quickly? Rob Ackley's crew chief was just down here talking to me. They said, come to pit road, come to pit road. Then they immediately had the NASCAR spotter saying, caution out, caution. He was going to come to pit road, thought better of it, committed to stay on the racetrack. That's a costly mistake. He should have came to pit road, had that pit stop done, because if he would have been on pit road when the caution fell, he could have got his pit stop over with. He would have been at the back, but this is really going to hurt him now.
Yeah, I'm looking back at that replay, guys, and I'm trying to tell if that was netcode or not. I actually don't think that was netcode from the 34 to the 12. I believe that was an overcorrect right there. The 12 had a lot of wheel to the right, a lot of counter steer. Thing finally snapped back and he hit the wall. So I don't think there was any netcode there, Tim. I'm glad there wasn't any netcode. The less netcode, the better. It looks like he just tried to miss it, locked up the rear tires, and turned that thing into the outside wall. But as far as Adam Gilliland and tying, it just looked like Gilliland sent it in there until he saw Elvis or whoever you want to say, and unfortunately hit the 04 and sent him into the outside wall. So it's definitely going to be 4 points for Gilliland on the instant point system, and that'll put him in a hole going into next week. Cars up pit road. Down to you guys.
Yeah, the 22 of Rob Ackley finally shaking up the cobwebs of his issues. He takes on his pit stop finally. Philip Geese is also on pit road. Danny Hansen, Vinny Sanson now exits. Jared Crawford, remember him? He was the first car that came to pit road. In the middle of that cycle, stuck inside the top 10. He now joins the rest of the fray, as also other drivers that committed to pit road included Kyle Galata, Joshua Lawton, Dustin Montgomery, Yuko Slavian, and a whole host of others. Dakota Ehrman, who was on your midsection that pitted.
The points leader actually coming down. Chad J. Lawton taking 2 tires, getting a lot of track position there. I believe he will be either second or third position car. No, we actually have several cars staying out here, but he will gain several spots here on the racetrack.
And then we have some drivers staying out on the racetrack too. Josh Connors, I believe, is one of those drivers, and he played some pit strategy last week as well, Mike, before the rains fell at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Benjamin Burmeister, Matt Busa, Derek Crone, Alex Chambrone, a couple of these drivers, I believe, are either one lap down or tail end of the lead lap. But Josh Connors, once again, playing a little bit of strategy here and trying to make it work for the Sea Giraffe.
Yeah, whatever you got to do is what you got to do in this series, and if that means strategy, then go for it. Connors has nothing to lose at this point. Needs to make up points. He's on the cusp of not being in the top 25 this season either. So 15, Josh Connors, crew chief or whoever he's got coaching him on TeamSpeak right now, probably telling him to keep that car on the racetrack. Doesn't have a whole lot of time on those tires, Tim. Maybe 2-3 laps max for the 15. So those tires, they're gonna get cooled down right here, and he'll be okay. Before we go to break, one more time to Wesley for a couple of lap cars coming down to pit.
Yeah, a couple lap cars. These guys have kind of been hooked up all night long. Teammates Alex Cameron and Derek Crone in the 07. They pretty much, Caron's one lap down, and they just kind of take on a new side of rubber and fuel, and we'll throw it back up to you.
All right, so as we're on one of these 2-minute and change caution laps, so we're going to send it away to break. Thank the sponsors and everyone that makes this happen. Free TV. Don't you go away. We'll be right back for more racing at Pocono.
Welcome back to ETV Live and coverage around number 5 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series. We are just past the halfway point here at Pocono, lap 41 being worked on the board. Your leader is Benjamin Burmeister, Matt Busa in second, Josh Connors, Paul Kashiba, and Rich Doucette in fifth. Casey Malone, Brandon Schmidt, Matt Witten, Chad Lawton, check that, and Rob Ackley in 10th. The dominator of this race so far, Mike, you have to look back to 11th. After some pit strategy, Jarrett Crawford sits in P11 in the 83.
That's the furthest back we've seen that 83 the whole race because he's led the whole race. So 83, he's going to be in dirty air now. Car's going to pick up a push. He's not going to be able to take the same line that he could take if he was free and clean air with no one around him. So Crawford, he's a great driver now. He's really going to have to show us how great he is. He's going to have to adjust his driving style to make this car work in the dirty air and get up through this traffic and possibly back into the lead if that is possible.
So this one's going to be exciting, and I think with this restart going into corner number 1 with a bunch of new characters up in front, 2, 3 wide, and we might see a big one or the super speedway version of the big one coming out here as the pace car will make its way to the infield. Benjamin Burmeister and Matt Busa, 66-34, will lead the field to green, and here comes Burmeister. Green light flies, and they're all headed to corner number 1.
Great start from the 34 Boosie. He's going to remain side by side with the, big wreck in the back. Big wreck in the back. Caution is out. Big stack up. 73 Kenneth O'Keefe involved, among others, and they're not too happy about it either.
77 of Andrew Fash, the 14 of Brandon Cattell pulls away. Jarl Tyen pulls away. I believe Derek Crone is going to miss that. No, he's going to get a little bit of that as well. So caution flag will fly, and there's a lot of unhappy drivers back here in the back half of this pack.
Yeah, Cattell, I don't know if you mentioned Cattell, but I guess I'd just throw it out there. Again, another week, another wreck for the 14. Tough break for him. Just a big stack up on the top line, and that really goes all the way back up to the field to the 92 of Malone, really not getting a good start, and all the way back to the 78, the 73, all of them back there just had nowhere to go, and the 73 just got hit from behind, and Tyne gets involved, and then a lot of cars back there torn up from this. A lot of good cars too, Tim, that got back there with pit strategy. So a lot of good machinery torn up in that stack up right there. But we've seen that before. We've seen that in the DWC races the last couple of years. We saw that in the pro race. It just happens when you have a lot of guys trying to anticipate the start. The leader doesn't go exactly when they think, and a stack up like that happens. It's unfortunate, but it's just a part of racing.
You know what? I think Andrew Fash gets the award for getting all 4 corners hit within a matter of about 50 feet. He gets the 14 on the front. He's going to get the 73 on the front. The 14 is going to hit him in the right or the left rear. Check that. And I believe somebody got him in the right rear as well. 27 Cody Bias gets him in the right rear. So Andrew Fash, the third, has succeeded of knocking in all 4 corners on that number 77 car in about 50 feet. So that's one thing I know he didn't want to do, guys, but you're going to have a lot of damaged cars down here in a few moments' time once these guys figure out where they're going to line up.
Yeah, I hear the 48 car, Brad Wright, going through the pack right now at a high rate of speed. No, he's okay. So it looks like Brad is back up to his position if he did have to make up time. But you know, Andrew Fash has always been known for having some really weird things happen to him with damage, and it's happening again tonight. That car has major skew, and not the skew that we've been using this build with the Cup car or with the rear end geometry like the real teams are using. That 77 car, he's pretty yawed out to the right, skewed out to the right down the straightaway. So once again, Andrew Fash gets the damage axe award, as we call it in our little community. But it's unfortunate for Andrew. He had again another solid top 20 run going, from what I could tell. And I mean, yeah, Wesley's telling me right now, I mean, I can see he's got suspension issues. The whole rear end housing is shifted over to the right, and he's not going to be able to run too well out there. He's probably got a big meatball flag too. He's going to come down pit road right here, 73 O'Keefe, tying a bunch of damaged cars coming down your way. Wesley, hold your breath. There's a lot of smoke coming toward you.
Yeah, Kenneth O'Keefe on pit road. Gerald Taheen is on pit road. Peter Bennett's taking on side of rover. Vinny Sassone. Of course, you know, we talked about the 77 ride of Andrew Fash at driver dirt track at Landon Huffman. Jake Steherius on pit road. And I'll tell you what, worse for wear, coming to make pit stops now on lap 44, 77, Andrew Fash III. You mentioned all the bad luck he had. That car looked like it was a late model dirt track and here around the tricky triangle at Pocono, Pennsylvania. Tough break for him. And to the midsection of pit road we go. Dakota Ehrman, more cars in front of you.
Yeah, most of the cars are sitting here waiting as long as they can't get as much damage as they can get repaired. I know Keener Bennett, one of them, that's actually he's rolling, and so I believe the pace car is creeping up on them as they have pace cars in 4. So most of these guys are rolling off the pit road, but staying as long as they can to get as much damage fixed as possible.
There's a turn 4, Dakota. I didn't know that.
Hey, you know, if you ever see the race broadcast, guys, you know, when we're looking on pit road, if you look to turn 3 as they come down the main straightaway, there's only a logo that says what turn 4. Danny Hansen looks like he comes to pit. No, I'm sorry, that's the car number 98 entry onto pit road now. That's everybody else making a couple of more pit stops. Late rally pit stops. You know, it kind of surprises me. Brandon Kettle onto pit road, a couple of other drivers in this process too. And the thing is, we just had him on pit road just a moment ago after that last caution we had.
Yeah, it just looks like tires, Dakota. I hate to cut you off there, but tires seem to be a big factor. I've been hearing that from the crew chiefs this week. What have you heard, Dakota? It just seems like all these guys are unanimous on getting tires every time.
Yeah, tires are a huge concern. A lot of the camps, but one guy that came down and gave up 6th position, and looks like it might have been for a bad cause because a lot of guys staying out. Richard Doucette, who we actually picked for Wesley Outland, so Richard Doucette going to the rear of the field after getting 4 tires.
See, I knew I got shafted by you guys. I got guys that are in the back of the pack as picks. No, just kidding. Nah, but hey, can we say something else about the pit road, about Jared Crawford, guys? You know, he kind of got stuck in that last incident, fell. We had the caution. He fell back mid-pack, came to pit road. It seems like he's struggling right now, guys. They're going to wonder if they're going to need to come to pit road and make an adjustment. Jared Crawford right now outside the top, well, he's in the top 10, but has not moved forward back to the pack since this late's caution.
I think when we go back to green flag racing, this is going to be pretty exciting. We saw that wreck happen in the back. We still have some guys up in front on differing strategies. Burmeister, Busa, Kashiba, Connors, Malone, your top 5, and not knocking these guys, Mike, but there's a couple of guys up here that we haven't seen up front all season long, minus maybe a glimmer at Daytona about a month ago. This could very well get interesting if we do get a lap or 2 in.
I mean, it seems like Burmeister was fast. As we have a couple cars coming out pit road right now again. Oh, hang on, don't run into each other. 92 Malone, Brandon Schmidt in the 3, 69 Witten. Down to you, Dakota. What are they doing down there?
Looking at the laps here, I believe this will put us really, really close to possibly being able to make it, guys. So I think right now everybody's coming down trying to make it this their last stop. You might say a little bit of fuel conservation, but I know up front, a lot of guys still staying out.
Yeah, it looks like you said, that's a good idea right there, Dakota. I didn't even think of that. Since they can go 35 laps, 45 to 35, and they'd be in a nice window to make it on one more stop. Might not even have to take full fuel, and that'd probably help them out as well. Save some time in the last pit stop if it is under green. As I was trying to say before, we got some fast cars up front. We have Burmeister, Matt Busa, 34. He was okay. He was top 15 car right there. Pokashiba was trying to make his way back up to the field after the wreck. Josh Connors was there. He was okay. He was hanging in the top 20. But you get to 6th spot in Crawford. I mean, that's the class of the field right there. I mean, that 83 car, he is fast tonight. And his closest competitors of Lawton, of Josh Lawton, Dustin Montgomery, Danny Hansen. Lawton is in 14th, the deepest of them. And Montgomery in 10th, Danny Hansen in 11th. So now Crawford, now he's got a fast car and a little bit of a buffer to his closest competitors here tonight, Tim. So 83 is definitely in the catbird seat at this point if he can just clear these 5 cars in front of him and get back out into that clean air.
You know, when we look at it, when we went green flag racing in the first half of this race, it looked like Jared Crawford was going to gain a whole lot in the point standings. Keep in mind, he was 31 points without that drop coming in. to this evening's racing action, and of course it depends what way you want to look at the schedule. It's 10 races overall. We have 2 drops if you include that race that we had last week. Gets a little bit messy if you really look at it. But nevertheless, 31 points between your top 2, with Chad Lawton running mid-pack, 10th, 12th, 14th place. It looked like it was going to be a night for Jared Crawford to gain some points. Now you look at where they're running right now, 26 and 83. They're going to start in the same row in positions 5th and 6th. So that point gain, albeit we still have just under half the race to run, there still could very well be a swing there. But right now, those points guys keeping tabs of each other.
Yeah, they are. They're not going to let each other get away from each other. I know at my points battle with Ray last year, I always knew where he was, and I'm not really sure if he was too worried about me, but I'm sure I was in his mind a little bit too. And that's what's happening between the 26 and the 83, especially as we wind down the season. And we're only halfway through this week. When we get down to round 8, round 9, and round 10, when we head to Charlotte to, end the thing, have the finale, the 26 and 83 are still racing against each other. They are teammates, yes, but they're going to know where each other are. And then 83 knows right now, Crawford knows that he's got to get around Lawton any way possible, get around the 15, 32, the 66, and everyone else in front of him, and seal the deal for that 1 extra bonus point for the lap sled, get out there, and also try to set himself up for the end to get this win and the extra bonus points that come with it. So Crawford's in a good spot right now. He's got fresh tires, he's got a fast car, so we'll see what he can do. But you also know that Lawton knows that he might lose some points to 83 as well. So again, they are teammates, but teammates are only good when they want to be teammates, Tim. I've found that out a couple times. When a teammate has to race you, they'll race you, and that's what you got to expect. So if that 26 has got to race the 83, no doubt about it, he'll do that if he has to.
And I'm sure we'll see it here when we do go back to green flag racing. We'll have 47 laps completed when we come across the stripe. Benjamin Burmeister once again is your leader. Matt Busa in second. Paul Kashipa, Josh Connors, row number 2. Chad Lawton and Jared Crawford in row number 3. Ackley, Gatula, Montgomery, and Hansen complete your top 10 as the pace car going to head to the infield here. Benjamin Burmeister going to be on the throttle. Here we go. Green flag flies. And a pretty close start up in front between your top 2. 34 now under fire from 32 and 15.
Yeah, 32 is going to try to get under the 34 of Busa. He's going to throw it in there. Not going to happen. 34 going to close the door. He's going to get to the back of the 66. He's going to try to make a move on him. Not going to happen. Looking at the 83 back here. He moves into 5th. Make that 4th as the 15 gets wide off of turn number 1. He's going to lose a spot to Crawford. Another spot to Lawton. Back to 6th. The 15 goes. So you got those 2 wheelmen cars. They're coming through the field. Rob Ackley is a blink back there. Connection issues somehow, some way. Kenneth O'Keefe back there in the pack. He's making his way up right now as well. But I want to keep my eye on this battle for second. Kashiva to the bottom. Busa to the outside. Busa's going to run that grip strip through 3. Up to the outside he goes. 32 to the bottom. They race side by side off the 3. Still side by side. 32 tries to clear. Not going to happen as they go 3 wide in the back of the pack. Oh, Brad right around.
Yeah, Brad Wright, the 48, was caught in the middle of that. Caution flag will fly here. Yuka Savalainen is around as well. I believe the 73 at Kenneth O'Keefe may have been swept up in this as the caution flag flies. I did see a red car sliding through there. It might not have been the 73, but there was one red car there, I'm sure. But caution flag will fly, and that's what we talk about on these restarts. There's so much opportunity to pick up positions, and guys going 3 wide, and you saw it there, they did not make it.
It looks like you had Josh Berry in the bottom, Danny Hansen in the middle, Gatula up top, and it looks like Hansen doesn't have enough room in the middle, so he goes to get behind the 71, gets bumper hooked back down to the 48. That sends the 48 broadside in front of everyone. Oh, Adam Gillen hits him, and O'Keefe gets around him. Yuka gets involved just a little bit right there, but he's not going to get any damage, so really no major damage beside that 48 car and the 81. But just close racing right there. A little bit of a bumper hook, a little bit of net code, and that sent the 48 around, unfortunately. That's really gonna kill his night. The 41 also got some damage to him, hearing from Wesley. He must have just scraped something along the way as well, but nothing major for those cars. But the 48 and the 81 got the brunt of the damage out of that one.
So we work caution once again. We'll have less than 30 laps to go when we go back to the green flag. But Benjamin Burmeister, Paul Kashiba, Matt Busa, your top 3. They have not changed since the exchange of green flag pit stops and then caution flag pit stops following that. Jarrett Crawford and Chad Lawton had made their way up into the top 5, just shuffling Josh Connors out of that top 5 to 6th.
Yeah, a little bit of jostling going around that first, or that restart right there. Like Sakashiba up to 2nd. Sakashiba trying to mount his charge back up to the front. Crawford picked up 2 spots, got around his teammate Lawton, and got around Connors as well. So 83 going in the right direction at this point in time. As we work lap 50, we're going to take another commercial break, but don't you go anywhere. We'll be back with Green Flag Racing from round number 5 at Pocono.
Welcome back to the Pocono Raceway in round number 5 of the NASCAR iRacing Pro Series. It's been exciting so far. Danny Hansen is scored as your leader. Kenneth O'Keefe, Carson Downs, Josh Lawton, Peter Bennett, your top 5. Going to send it down to Wesley Outland. What happened down there on pit road when we were away?
Yeah, man, guys all ready for the long haul and ready for the short rally for that matter. Long way to go, short time to get there like the old Smokey and the Bandit tune. Guys on pit road, Chad Lawton, Josh Berry, Jared Crawford, Josh Connors, Dustin Montgomery, Paul Kashiba, and a whole host of others. 4 tires, Sunoco gasoline, and everybody now ready to go to the end. How about to the midsection of Dakota Uhrman?
Jared Crawford actually came down. He wasn't the first stall. I think you missed this, but Jared Crawford took 2 tires. His teammate, I believe it's his teammate Chad Lawton, who is the points leader, also taking 2 tires. Chad was in the middle section of pit road. A lot of guys actually taking 2 tires. That's what's going to make this interesting. Is Chad has been on 2 tires the last 2 stops in a row here, guys.
Now we're going to come back down green very shortly here. These cautions are extremely long. Over 2 seconds, or over 2 minutes and 18 seconds around this racetrack. So these cautions give these drivers a time to relax, settle down, take it easy, get a drink of water, have a little bit of a snack like I am right now, and get ready and gear up for the last 40% of this race. And you never know, it could go green from here on out, Tim. That first long run they had was definitely taxing on these drivers, and like I said, they have to just take it easy right now and get ready for the next long run if it does indeed happen.
And as we get ready to see the lights shut off the pace car this time by, I don't want to brag, but it looks like Danny Hansen and Carson Downs, 2 of my fantasy picks, are sitting up in the top 3. And we don't want to talk about Landon Huffman outside the top 20 right now, but 2 of my 3 aren't doing too bad, guys.
But hey, one of my picks was the car to beat tonight. As soon as he gets back up to the front, watch out for him. And also sitting second.
Well, guys, I don't know who my picks were. I let you guys pick them for me, but I don't, you know, whatever happens, happens. It happens on the racetrack. We'll see what happens when the checkers fall.
And we will be going green in one more lap as the French Racing Ford Mustang pace car lights are off. So 53 will be completed when we do hit the line. Derek Crone will receive the free pass, and Crone will be back on the lead lap. So we will have 29 drivers out of the 34 that started this race on the lead lap. We have 2 drivers, I believe, currently out of this race. Cattell is 5 laps down. Brad Wright is 2 laps down. And currently off the track, Fayash is 1 down, and then everybody else will be scored on the lead lap when we go green.
Hey, Tim, Terry, real quickly, back to pit road, man. Do I have any drivers that were picks of mine that are at least in the hunt of things?
I think you have Rich Doucette up there, which would be in 6th place, so you're not too bad.
Okay, some hope after all.
So, whoa, hang on a second. Is that the 73 car that's in second? Wasn't he just wrecked a couple cautions ago? And your pick. I guess he must have heard that he was your pick, Dakota, and found the extra gear and picked it up a notch. That's pretty darn impressive. He's pretty bent up too, Tim. If I'm seeing what you're seeing, the left rear's bent in, the nose is bent in, everything's bent in, but he's in second, so it's pretty good though. So we'll see what he can do in this restart. He had the 78 and 73 in the front row. It's Danny Hansen and, like we just said, Kenneth O'Keefe. Starting behind Danny is his teammate Carson Downs, the Pro Geek sister car back there. Pace car is going to come off this time by. Hard left-hand corner down pit road. Danny Hansen lays it down. Here he comes down to the start-finish line. Green flag is out once again.
This is going to be interesting going into corner number 1 to see if everybody can make it. 97 to Carson Downs, the teammate, pushing the Pro Geek Consulting Chevrolet Impala in the lead into corner number 1. 97 flashing the nose to the inside. O'Keefe goes high, wide, and handsome. Here comes Josh Lawton to the inside, and here comes the 31 as well. Peter Bennett. Where did he come from? Bennett looking at 4th. Oh, Chad Lawton into the fence.
Oh, they're gonna. Dude, gets through it. The 8 around. He's gonna keep it off everything. Caution is out. Big stack up back there. Looks like the 92 Malone was back there. Oh, it looks like Malone and Lawton made contact. Yeah, 92 and the 26 made contact off turn 2. It looks like. Oh wow, Lawton got huge loose off there. He pancakes the wall. And they just try to check up, guys, and they weren't able to check up. The 8 gets sent around after he tries to hook it back up right, and somehow, some way, he doesn't get hooked. 66 Benjamin Burmeister goes around that. 15 car has a little bit of a problem back there as well. Not too bad of damage in the 15, just a little bit on the rear end, but it was pretty messy. But they all got through it halfway decent.
Somebody want to tell me how the 8 car didn't hit anything as he was spinning down the straightaway, and he saves it on the grass. Great save by Dustin Montgomery. That was probably I would say probably the good hands award of the race, as Dustin Montgomery will grab a gear and get going again, but Montgomery might need to come down and get a new pair of shorts by the way he spun down that straightaway.
I mean, you know what? I had that happen to me this week. Well, I didn't have it happen to me, but I knew it was going to happen. I just kind of got out of it. But it seems like when you get down right next to the grass, down the long pond straightaway, you try to hook the thing back up to the right, it's like the car kind of off cambers and the tire just grips violently. It's because we're running a really hard compound here and because of the tire pressures and everything. The car just hooks back right and took Montgomery by surprise. And like you said, good hands driving indeed. He got out of that, was able to counter steer and and steer every which way at the right time, use brakes and gas and everything, and have no one hit him. And he continues on with no damage. So superb driving by Montgomery right there. Again, my A pick, and some good driving by my A pick. I'm very proud of that.
And looking at my 2 picks, I believe they're 1 and 2 right now, and they'll start on the front row. And I'm sure Matt Salo, albeit I'm pretty sure he's still on vacation, I'm sure he'll be smiling ear to ear to see those two starting on the front row, 78 and 97, the Proki Consulting Chevrolet Impalas. Danny Hansen and Carson Downs when we do go green in about 5 minutes' time. It looks like there might be some action down on pit road, guys.
Yeah, down on pit road, couple of guys making some stops, getting repairs done, actually. Chad Lawton, we mentioned him. His car's on pit road after the accidents that he sustained a couple of moments ago. They're going to give him a quick look over, and other than that, looks like, well, they'll start pulling the fenders, making sure there's not going to be any tire rub, which is tire rub is a possibility where that sheet metal can cause the side of Goodyear rubber to go down. They'll make sure that's going on, and they'll also check the aerodynamics on that Lawton machine. He'll be down and away back to join this race, but he does have extensive damage after that incident. He's still on pit road. Man, tough break for Chad Lawton, guys. You were mentioning what a great job he had in the early going of this race. Now in the late rally with less than 23 laps to go, sour grapes on his part as he's now on pit road, still having a lot of work done on that car.
Also want to mention Derek Crone also on pit road for, I mean, several times. I mean, he's been down there several times now. He actually went down a lap early after being, I believe it was the first caution. He was down a lap and has got the lap back, still sitting on pit road. Comes down to about every caution, is trying to get as much damage fixed, and they're slowly getting it back to a competitive state.
Yeah, another car on pit road, also Dakota Yugoslavian. You know, we mentioned him. That driver's got caught up in that incident on that last caution as well, and he's definitely having some extensive time on pit road as well. So definitely a lot of top-name contenders now still on pit road as a couple of drivers now roll away. But, man, it's coming down. And can we say, Tim Terry, the attrition rate has really been something else as now Crone pulls away. He'll come back and join the fight again, but tough break for a lot of top heavy hitters here in the late rally of this event at Pocono Raceway. The Tricky Triangle has definitely took out a lot of great contenders. Now the 14 of Brandon Kettle comes away, and so does Yugoslavia, as I mentioned him pulling off the racetrack also.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of wrecks here in the second half of this race. The first half, 1 caution. Straight up, it was a decent little show for the first half of this race, and then we see a couple of cautions breed cautions, and we see a lot of excitement, especially on these restarts where guys are fanning out, going 2 and 3 wide, and we're at the point now where these guys really don't want to give each other an inch, because we are coming down to that last quarter of this race where these guys are going to be gunning for a win, gunning for points, and especially with a guy like Chad Lawton right now down but not out at this point, as it looks like Andrew Fayash III is stopped at the end of pit road. Guys, I'm not sure what that's all about, but he's 77 stopped at the mouth of pit road.
I think the car is broke, Tim. Hearing that. Being reported back to the pit crew. He might be waiting for someone too. Now he's rolling. There he goes. Okay, maybe he's waiting for Yuka or Kittel or someone like that. He's still got a black flag, though. He's yelling over the radio, so he's not having a very good night. Fayash isn't. So I think Fayash is just going to pull into pit road here, park the car, and just sit there for a while and collect his thoughts.
Well, the intention was to hook up with Brandon Cadell as he came down to pit road, and they're going to take on 4 tires and fuel. I mean, I guess it's better, guys, to come onto pit road as a pair of contenders, or at least with a pack, than to be out there by yourself as a sitting duck. As now you see Andrew Fayash III as Cattell comes out from pit road as well, joining him from the back, and a couple other cars still on pit road in the process. Man, as I said, a tough race, and you know, obviously, you know, it's already been a bad night for Fayash, but maybe he just wanted to have a wingman to help him get around the racetrack.
You guys, I just want to clarify on Andrew Fayash's penalty there. If you get so close to the commitment line and the entrance to pit road, it'll actually, if you don't let the cars by before that and you're sitting there waiting and you let them go, it will still black flag you. So he was possibly just too close to the pit entrance there when he was letting cars by.
And now I believe he is receiving the free pass award, so Andrew Fayash is going to have to hustle to get around here and get that free pass before the before we do go green flag racing again, and that car's dog tracking the wrong way as well. So add insult to injury, I guess, to the 77 of Andrew Fayash. We are 1 to go when we go back to green flag racing next time by, as long as the iRacing officials do not extend this caution flag period. 78-97 will line up on the front row when we do go green.
I'm watching the 77, and when I saw him go through 3, it really looked like a dirt car. All iRacing would have to do is just add some dirt and just some dust and just model the cars like that and look like they're on dirt. But either way,
Dirt on
they're not
Pocono.
on
What
dirt.
an idea, fellas.
That'd be pretty fun, wouldn't it? I mean, there's no grip in 1 already. Might as well just add some dirt down there over the Humpty Bumps in the Pocono Mountains. But, you know, Fayash is going to get his lap back. He's going to get around the pace car. We might have a delayed green right here. I'm not sure. It depends on if that 77 can get back around here. If he doesn't wreck, he's really having to wheel that thing to keep it straight, Tim. But right now, like you said, it's really nice to see the 2 Pro Geek cars in the front row. That is the fruits of Junior Motorsports labor, some J-Show labor, and my magic wand to fix the center. So they're looking really good right now. It makes me proud, as I had a part in that. And it also makes me proud that my picks are running very well right now. You have Lawton up at 4th, and Witten's back there inside the top 10 in Montgomery. He's going to rebound, and he'll get back up there as well. So looking good right now on all ends of the spectrum.
And Rich Doucette is up there at 7 for Wesley, but you look at the top 2, I'm not sure who had those guys, but whoever had it, I'm sure he's a very handsome man. The first Racing Ford Mustang pace car getting ready to head to the infield, and it's all Pro Geek Consulting on the front row. Carson Downs and Danny Hansen. Green flag flies for Danny Hansen, and the 40 of Josh Lawton. What a start for Lawton.
Wow. This is gonna. He's gonna go 3 wide right here. We go 3 wide down turn 1. There's not a lot of room. Oh no! There he goes. Oh, he's gonna coat. God. Golly. Well, I'm glad I talked about him when I did. That's 1 down, 1 to go, I guess. They didn't give him a lot of room. There wasn't really a lot of room to be had right there, yeah, and Carson Downs isn't very happy about that. Just 40 bounced off the 78 back into the 97, and that's going to take out a good car up there. Carson drove really hard to get up there, and then unfortunately that car's wrecked now.
And we mentioned it earlier that a lot of these guys know that you can't win the race on lap 20. If you're running 3rd and you have 22 laps to go in the race, I'm not sure about that move on the 40. You'd think you'd be a little bit smarter than that and wait a little bit. But nevertheless, the 40 of Josh Lawton thinks it's time to go, and he went all over the number 97.
I don't know what he was trying to get down there. I don't know. Like I said in the pre-race, I think he was trying to find Elvis driving it in there like that. But I don't know. There's always 2 sides of the story. I'm just kind of biased because that was a good car up there. But he felt like he had to do that, and that's to his discretion. And it was a nice move on the restart, but I just don't think there was enough room. But nevertheless, he's in 2nd. And Danny Hansen 1st, and Carson Downs is wrecked. So that's just how it's going to be, and that's how it is. And we'll see what the officials say midweek about the incident points given out in that incident.
Yeah, guys, down here on pit road, the Popsicle Chevrolet Impala, the 97 of Carson Downs, into the top 3. They go down for the whole shot in turn 1, sticking it 3 wide. He was the meat and the sandwich, the hot dog between the bun. The 40 car then collected the outside of the 97 machine of Downs, and into the wall he went. And that Popsicle definitely matches the sponsorship on that ride now. It's bashed, it's tore up, and we don't even know if we're going to be able to get that car back out on the racetrack. Crew members working feverishly around the 97. Dakota, what's the talk going on the radios with Joshua Lawton and the move that he made on Downs to put us under yellow flag with less than 20 to go?
Well, he thought he was completely in the good listening on the radio. He's not sure what happened, but I think I heard an apology. I'm not quite sure. There's a lot of chatter going back and forth, and I know the spotter also talking on the spotter up there for him. So not everybody's happy, but you know, it's going to happen here at Pocono. Pocono is a really tricky racetrack, and that is why it's called the Tricky Triangle.
And he pulls off a pit road, Tim Terry. It's damaged. It's matched up. But the popsicle of Carson Downs will come back out and battle again. But he'll definitely struggle till the end of this race.
We're still going to have 2 more laps of caution, so if Carson can hustle that thing around, if there's any more damage to that car, I'm sure he can come in and get another minute or so repaired of that damage. Danny Hansen is still going to be out in front. Josh Lawton going to run in second. Obviously, you know Danny Hansen a little bit better than I do, Mike. Do you think he's going to race Josh Lawton a little bit differently now than he would have, let's say, before that restart?
Well, that's a good question. I don't really know if he's in the position to do that right now. Lawton was my C pick, so that means that he's outside the top 21 in points. He's pretty far out there. So I mean, he's not up there in the lead, so he can do that. Hansen is in a good spot in points right now. If he can get a couple more good finishes under his belt, you know, he can be locked into the DWC. So I wouldn't expect the 78 to race the 40 any harder this race, but I can bet you a lot of money that at that 97 and the 40, they won't be sending each other Christmas cards in the upcoming weeks. I can tell you that with quite a bit of assurance.
Tim, more cars are on pit road. Andrew Fayes the third, the dirt tracker. We need to call him now in the Pennsylvania Liberty Bell Chevrolet. He's still working on trying to get that, you know, tube chassis suspension fixed on that car, so he'll quit dirt tracking it sideways. Yuko Salavian also came. Salavian went on to pit road. Brandon Bushberger hit pit road. Brandon Cattell hit pit road. Just a couple of guys that are on the rear end of pit road. How about to the midsection of Dakota Ehrman?
Well, to Brandon Cattell actually just pulling out of a stall as the pace car is like coming off of turn number 3. Don't correct me, guys. I got 3 this time. I got it right. Pace car coming off 3. Most guys just coming down trying to get as much damage fixed as possible, and that would include Brandon Cattell, Andrew Fayes third, and Carson Downs as they get out before the pace car gets there.
And what do you know, Tim? Look who's back out in front again. My, do wonders ever cease.
Yeah, there goes a couple of other drivers coming off pit road. Carson Downs, the car still doesn't look as pristine as it did before, so I'm sure they're going to have a little bit more work to do on that one. Lights are still on atop the pace car. The one driver that we talked about a little bit earlier on one of those very short green flag runs that we had in the second half of this race, Mike, is the 31 of Peter Bennett. You really have to give him a little bit of credit. Bennett has had a quiet season so far, runs 10th place in the point standings, and it's going to look to gain a few positions here. Of course, Joey Brown is likely going to fall back behind Peter Bennett. He keeps up with the top 5 run. He might end up top 5 in points after this race is done, but Peter very quiet in the first 3 races, but it's a strong quiet, top 10.
Yeah, he's done a nice job being quiet the whole time he's really been in his Iracing career. I didn't really know about him until a couple of seasons ago when he made a solid run for pro and he got in, and he was quiet there, and he's still quiet. He's a clean driver. He's done a whale of a job this season to keep that car out of trouble. Here we have Andrew Fayes in the booth. Andrew, not a really good night. Not a lot of ups and a lot of downs. Just walk us through what's really went on tonight for you up to this point.
Oh, well, early on I was having fun. There's some really good battling going on all throughout the pack, and I mean it was hectic, scary, but fun at the same time. And just that one restart there, you know, I threw myself off sequence a little bit. Well, like half the field did, but one restart they were checking up on the high side, and I saw it, but like in my mind I was kind of paranoid to change lanes because of the whole, you know, rule about switching lanes and whatever. And for some reason my brain said stay in your lane instead of jump out to miss the wreck, and I stayed in the gas. I realized I wasn't going to miss it, so then I went for the brake to try to, you know, not run Cattell over, and really had nowhere to go at that point. But we're just trying to salvage the night here a little bit.
Myself and Wesley up here have been kind of making fun of how skewed out your cars. It looks like you could drive that thing on a dirt track the way it is right now. How bad is that car handling? It sure doesn't look too good.
It's not too bad. Granted, the last time I came out of the pits, the wheel was straight. This time it's to the right, so I don't know, the crew's messing around with it, I guess. But, I don't know, I got 2 years of dirt track experience. Maybe it'll come in handy here.
Yeah, I
And
think
this
we
is
need to start calling you the iRacing Scott Bloomquist of asphalt. Andrew, man, keep it straight, keep it sideways, whatever you do, just get it to the checkered flag.
Yeah, we'll see what we can salvage here at my home track. It sucks to have a bad night here, but I'm not great here. I just enjoy driving it because it's so much fun to battle.
It certainly is. This is a really diverse track, Andrew. We're having a decent run before a lot of the carnage has ensued. So, like Wesley said, just keep it straight, do whatever you can, get to the finish, and we'll be looking after you. Good luck for the rest of the race.
Thanks, guys. I want to thank everybody over at Nexus for the work they do on the setups. Matt Busa, Rob Ackley, Joe Slamma, Zach Hudson, and I mean countless others. Got to thank everybody. Give them a shout out.
And that's Andrew Vash III as he'll restart deep in this field. Here comes what could very well be some fireworks on this restart. Danny Hansen and Josh Lawton will start on the front row with Kenneth O'Keefe, Philip Geis, and the number 31 of Peter Bennett completing your top 5. Guys, don't look now. Josh Berry in position number 6 could have something for these guys at the end of it, and Jarrett Crawford going to restart in 10th. This could very well get very interesting very quickly. Green flag flies, and here comes the number 78 of Danny Hansen. Hansen's going to be gone. The 40 of Lawton going to be stuck on the outside. Kenneth O'Keefe looking at position number 2.
There you see Danny's going to try to break the draft right here. He does not want that 40 to get up to the side of him once again. Doesn't want to let that happen. 73 of the 40, they go side by side through 1 and 2. Still side by side, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Everyone's too wide right now. Fanning out, Hansen to the bottom, down the back stretch. Doesn't want to turn that thing up to the right like Montgomery did. He's going to be okay. Down into the tunnel turn, he sprints away. The 40 and the 73 try to get single filed out. 73 slides behind the 40, and they're going to go single file through the tunnel turn, down the short chute.
As Rich Doucette makes a move on Peter Bennett once again, it looks like the 73 and 40 gonna go at it in corner number 3. 73 looks like he's gonna pick up the spot. Can the 40 fall back into line? 58 has his hands full with Josh Berry. Berry on the inside coming off of corner number 3 as Lawton all over the place. We're gonna go 3 wide.
Well, boys, get it done. Here we go. Josh Berry gets around the 40. He's going to move up to 3rd. Lawton from 2nd to 4th in 1 lap. Doucette tries to make a move to the bottom of Geis. He's going to send it in there as well. Turn 1, side by side. Geis up the track. 96 to the bottom. Here comes Crawford. 31 in the sandwich in the middle. They go 2 by 2 once again. Crawford's going to make up a position. He clears Bennett up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7th position for Crawford down the backstretch.
Crawford looking to make something happen here in the late stages. 58 and 96 just in front of Jarrett Crawford. He dominated the first half of this race, looking to get back up to the front of the field and gain some points on Chad Lawton. To the inside of the 58 he goes, looking for a spot.
There he comes. Not going to get there though. And he's going to stay single file through 3. We had a little bit of a weird noise through spec chat right there, kind of threw me off. 96 still single file. 58 back to 6th now, 96 to 5th. Later still Danny Hansen with a couple tenths of a second lead over the number 2 position of Kenneth O'Keefe. Josh Berry up to 3rd, like I said before. Josh Lutton to 4th, 96 5th, 58 6th. Crawford still in the 7th position. Can't really seem to do anything with these guys in front of him. Looks like he's stalled for now.
It looks like side by side back there between Rob Ackley, 27, of Cody Bias, 69, of Matt Witten, 34, Matt Busa. These guys really got to go and look at your point leader back there as well, guys. 20th place right now for Chad Lawton.
Yeah, Gilliland almost killed the wall off too. He kept it off, but like you said, Lawton is back there right now. He's going to try to salvage something. He's in 19th right now. Has a lot of right side damage. Can't really turn that thing very well. And he's under pressure from the 75 of Landon Hoffman, who's also not really having a very stellar night as well. Kashiba gets a little bit sideways off 3 as well. A lot of, again, looks like the beginning of the race, a lot of loose cars early on in this run. If they can get a couple laps under these tires, they'll start to tighten up. For now, these cars are a handful up in front of them. You have the 34 of Matt Busa for 15th under Witten, who is in 14th. So battle for the 14th position. You have a battle for 12th in front of them. They get really close. Battle for 14th subsides. 12th is also going to subside as well. This is a mouthful. Here comes Gilliland for 15th under the 34. Busa side by side into 2 they go.
And keep in mind, Gilliland is third place in the point standing, so he's looking to gain some big ground here if he can pick up some spots in the closing laps of this race. 3 wide action.
Yeah, 3 wide up here. Benjamin Burmeister made it 3 wide into the corner under Malone and Geese. They're going to go side by side, down through 3, off of 3. Malone on the outside, Burmeister at the bottom. They get a little bit loose right there. Brandon Schmidt looks on. Schmidt having a nice run in the 3 car tonight. In 11th, he hasn't had a very good start to the season, but now he's starting to pick it up. They're fanning out all over the front stretch right now, trying to cool those cars down, trying to break the draft as well. And looks like a really single file, mostly up through the top 7, 92, 58, first battle on the track. That's Malone. He's going to take the position away from Geis. Geis with some major right side damage after that accident went down, so the 58 car definitely down in power at the moment. Here comes Burmeister under the 92 into the tunnel for a position. He's going to cut him off. Not going to happen.
Brandon Schmidt in the core pipe number 3 made a move as well to try to pick up a couple of spots. He's going to make up 1 in the number 58 of Geis, and he's going to have the 66 and 92 in front of him. Up in front, it continues to be your leader, Danny Hansen, but Kenneth O'Keefe now under fire from the number 72. Oh, Lawton stuffed it in the wall off corner number 3.
Hey, Lawton getting really rambunctious right there. He's got some right side damage this time. Battle is for second, down to 1. Let's see if Barry can hold the thing down on the bottom. We've seen the 73 and the 72 fight hard all night. Oh, they're going to get really close right there. He's going to drive up the track. 73 had the awareness to go up the track that time. And he's going to clear him off the corner. Barry to second. O'Keefe back to third. 40 of Lawton looks on for fourth. Big block down the backstretch. It's not going to... Oh, he's not going to give anything. Oh, this isn't going to work. Oh, he's going to send it in. And the crossover. 3 wide through the tunnel.
What a move by Kenneth O'Keefe and Josh Lawton. Crawford is going to benefit with 1 position. There might be 1 more here too.
Alright, oh, he's getting loose right there. He's on the grip strip. Here comes Crawford up to 3rd. That's the class of the field that we saw early on in this race. We're coming to 11 laps to go. Crawford running out of time. He knows he doesn't have a lot of time left. Here he comes down the front stretch. Side by side for the 3rd position. About a 1.5 seconds behind the leader of Hansen right now as Barry runs down the 78 up in front.
Side by side for position number 3. Kenneth O'Keefe trying to hold off Jarrett Crawford. Crawford to the inside, O'Keefe to the outside. Josh Lawton's back there trying to salvage whatever he can out of the number 40. 83, 73, side by side in the 2.
And Crawford's going to he's going to clear him. No slide job this time. We'll see what the 40 and the 73 do this time. Oh, he gets really loose. He's going to try to do the crossover. Here he comes with the run. The 40's going to look on as well.
It's going to be 73 and 40, and you saw the block that the 73 threw on the number 40. This could get very exciting here going down into corner number 1 between those two if the 40 can find a run here off corner number 3. Down the front straightaway they go. 10 to go for your leaders.
Oh, we got Josh Lawton back here. He's burnt the rear tires off that thing. He's getting really loose off all the corners. O'Keefe, meanwhile, that 73 is in the 4th position. He is in a wheel vent sandwich in front of him. 1 in front of him, 2 behind him as Doucette kind of chops the 31's nose off a little bit right there. 31 gives a little bit of a break. Barry in the wall, just a little bit right there. Bennett with a little bit of a connection problem as well as some blinking going on back there. Battle is for the 6th position. 31 looks over the 96 of Doucette. They still go single file. Looks like Bennett's just a tick faster than the 96 at this point in time. Coming to 9 laps to go at the line.
40 and 73 keep a half eye on that battle for 4th as well. 40 stuffs it in on the 73, trying to get something there. 73 might be able to get up to the grip strip. Oh, 73 throws the block on the 40. Going into corner number 3, coming out. 40 going to have a run in the 73. This could get exciting by the time they hit corner number 1 as they come across the stripe. 9 laps to go.
Now, I'm really getting excited seeing the 78 up as the 73 gets the wall. But I just know there's something is going to happen, so I'm just going to try to remain calm here. But if I start getting a little bit excited, please excuse me. But okay, now they're side by side in 6th. Battle for 6th. Looks like Bennett's going to finally clear the 96 off of 2. Now Burmeister's going to look for the position as well. Doucette's going to hold it down into the tunnel. Burmeister sends it in a little bit deep. And he's going to get to the back bumper of the 96. Not going to have any contact, though. Nice run off the corner for the 2 cars behind the 31. Now the 96 is going to have a run in 31. He's going to get to the bottom. 31's going to have to use the grip strip through 3. Let's see if he can get somewhat of a run off the corner to hold that 96 off. Looks like he's doing it so far.
31 going to have to get the run off the corner here to do something with the 96 of Rich Doucette. Doucette on the inside. and the 66 of Burmeister just behind them. They drag race down to corner number 1. We'll see what happens there. And once again, keep a half eye on that number 40 car, Josh Lawton, as he closes in on the 73 of Kenneth O'Keefe. Battles all over this racetrack. One point I do want to make here, though, Mike. Jarrett Crawford, last lap by 54.7. The guys in front of him, 8s and 7s. Barry a little bit slower than your third place car, so Crawford might be able to get to Barry if this thing stays green. But Danny Hansen's looking good right now.
Danny Hansen is looking real good. It looks like he might have given a little bit of time up to that 72 through the tunnel as we look on to the 78 right here. That the 72's closed in just a little bit, but not that much though. They're going to come to 8 laps. There's 7 laps to go at the line. It looks like let's see what they have at the line right here. I'm going to read off lap times. Here they come to lap 74. Lap for Danny Hansen, 55.02. He slipped that time. Lost about 0.2 of a second to the 54.85 of Barry, the 54.76 of Crawford. Crawford really isn't catching these guys fast enough to really get up there. Looks like Barry kind of overshoots turn 1 right there. Danny gets a nice run through the center, a little bit tight off. Barry gets a good run. Looks like the net gain in that corner, though, Tim, is going to be to that 78 as he pulls the 72 down the backstretch.
40-73 side by side at position number 4. 40 made the move into corner number 1. 73 lets him have the line. There's not really much Kenneth can do. Trying to get down there. Do we see maybe a little bit of a bump from the 73 to the 40? We'll find out now as the 40 has the spot. Can the 73 get back at him?
I sure hope not, because my car is leading and he doesn't need a caution right now. He's going to get right to the back bumper of him. Oh, he's going to get real close off turn 3. They're already loose to begin with. A little bit of contact. The 40 really close to the wall. Big block. You're not clear, Lawton. Oh, it looks like Sheehan and Ottinger again. Oh. Alright, now he knows that the 73 is there. Big blocks, big side draft, big draft all the way around. Here they come, down to 1. 73 to the bottom. Ford in the outside. 73 is going to pull the slide job. Let's see if the 40 can do the crossover. Nice diamond for the 40 right there, but the 73 is going to take it back over.
If I'm Peter Bennett right now, I'm thinking I'm going to get a top 5 finish out of this race. The 40 and 73 continue to go at it. Kenneth O'Keefe and Josh Lawton going at it for position at number 5 here, and at number 4 to go at it as well as the 40 car. Oh, he might get up into the wall. Oh boy.
Wow. Oof. Okay, here they come. Oh my gosh, this is good racing. Now we're talking. Alright, 73, 40, still single file. Bennett blinking all over the place, but he's okay. Here comes Bennett. Here he comes. He's looking all over the back of the 40 right now. If he can get that connection fixed, he'd be right to the back of the 40. Down the front stretch, lap 76, 5 to go.
If I'm Peter Bennett, I really don't want to get my nose up in here because those other guys in front of me are gone. The 40 and 73 continue to go at it. They might wreck each other for that spot, but the 73 right now starting to inch away a little bit over the 40 of Josh Lawton. Just behind there, got a half eye on that battle between Doucette and Brandon Schmidt as they go at it. That is the 9th place position, I do believe. Check that, that's 10th as the 96 and 3 goes side by side.
Now it looks like the battle for the lead is getting a little bit closer right here. Looks like Danny Hansen's starting to slip out front. Caution's out. And we're going to have a 1-lap shootout, I think. Maybe. 58, Philip Geist, I'm hearing, is around. Might be a 1-lap shootout, or this could be Danny Hansen's race. This Geist is really, wow. Oh, no, he's in the wall again. All right, now he's that dirt track. Oh, he's going around. Oh, now he's broadside. God. Wow. I don't know if we're done yet. I'm gonna have to hear confirmation. I'm gonna try to talk to my teammate Danny on the radio and see what he's got to say.
Yeah, it's going to be close. Nevertheless, the 58 is the one that brings out the caution flag. Philip Geist gets all kinds of free at a corner number 1. He was racing the 26. Your point leader, Chad Lawton, gets free and corrects it into the path of the number 32 of Paul Kashiba, the 75 of Landon Huffman. Well, there goes one of my picks as he gets involved in this one as well. Tough break for Philip Geist as he still tries to get that thing righted again. It's full lock to the right, trying to go straight, and it's still not really going straight.
Yeah, I'm talking to Danny on the radio right now. Sorry for being a little bit absent, but he's hearing that it's done. And if the lights though go out in the pace car this time by, they'll be done. So that's going to be the telltale sign. Everyone's saying good win to him. So this might be the 78's race.
And it's
well,
a race
two
that Danny...
dirt cars are better than one, guys, and that's exactly what they're saying about the 58 of Philip Geese, man. If you look on the monitor, he's just simply driving around here, cocking it sideways, and even got Cheech and Chong running with him, burning up that tire rubber in the process.
And hey, he did. And as we come to the line, let's see. I don't know. Let's see what we hear. I'm gonna try to talk to him right now.
And it looks like we might have an incident back there as well. And I say incident, it looks like the 58 of Philip Geis is still trying to get righted again, but they don't have 2 to go, so it looks like this race will finish under the caution flag as long as Danny Hansen can get back incident-free in the next 3 laps.
And oh, that's cool. That's really cool. That's great for Danny. He's had some bad luck the first couple races here, and oh my, that's from one of the cars getting taken out to one winning. That's that feels good. That's really cool to see. But a good race overall. Really good racing throughout the pack tonight. We had some cautions, but that 40 and the 73 brawl, that was pretty darn impressive back there. There's a lot of good racing all over this track as well. So a commendable job to these guys tonight. They put on one heck of a show for everybody watching.
A lot of cautions in the second half of this race, but nevertheless is still a very entertaining race here at the Pocono Raceway for round number 5. We remind you to stay tuned for the post-race show where we will talk to your top 5 finishers. And the point I was going to make, Danny Hansen really needs this win for momentum's sake. He sits 13th in the point standings right now. This win should vault him up into the top 10 in the standings, and it should give him a little bit of confidence heading forward. That confidence should carry him into the Drivers' World Championship should something catastrophic go wrong in the second half of the season.
Yeah, he's in a good spot right now. Unfortunately, his teammate Carson Downs in that 97, he started off really well. Top 5 at Daytona, top 6 at Texas. A bad run at Phoenix that we had last week with the shortened race, but he's losing momentum, and that 78 is that 78 car is picking up momentum, and he's got some fast cars under him, and you better watch out for the 78 car. That's pretty darn good. And the lights are going to stay on. We are definitely not going back to green. And no green, white, checkered, no overtime. We are officially done with this race. Danny Hansen is your winner. Josh Berry with a nice run up to second. Now Jared Crawford comes back all the way to third. Kenneth O'Keefe to fourth, and top 5 would be Josh Lawton. They got to go around here a couple more times, but as long as no one blows up or anything crazy like that, this will be your official running order, what you see at the top of the screen.
And guys, on pit road, the crew chief on the war wagon with Danny Hansen says, just drive behind that pace car. Think it's a Sunday afternoon, and you are getting ready to come in a lap and a half to victory lane here at the Tricky Triangle. Danny Hansen hold off the likes of Berry, Crawford, O'Keefe, and even a tough battle between Lawton to get that car to victory lane. And yes, he's excited. You know, they always say green's a bad luck color to have in racing. He proves that theory like Harry Gant did in the real NASCAR series, that green means go for the win.
And when you look at the points picture here, when we do go at the end, barring anything happening here in the final couple of laps, Chad Lawton finishes 17th. Jarrett Crawford finishes in position number 3. Adam Gilliland was 3rd coming in. He's actually going to finish behind Chad Lawton in 18th place. So a big gain for Jarrett Crawford, but it's still only going to be probably, well, it's going to be essentially half of what the gap was coming in. It was 31 coming in. Jarrett Crawford, I believe, unofficially is going to lead the most laps of the race, so there's an extra point. So it's going to be about 15, 16 points he's going to gain here.
And like you said, a really good points night for Crawford. He's 17 positions up on Lawton. He should have that extra bonus point for leading the most laps. That should be 18. Actually, carry the 1. 15 points he should get on Lawton here, or 16 or 17 or 18. Nothing like that, but he's going to get a lot of points. He's going to cut that 31-point lead in half, guys. So going into next week in Kentucky, we're definitely going to have a championship on our hands. Once again, it looked like Lawton was going to run away with this thing, but because of a little bit of misfortune, and it looked like an ill-handling car as well, and Crawford with a really good car and staying out of trouble. The points battle is now a 2-car battle But I believe third and back will still lose points tonight. But either way, we have another car added to this battle with Jared Crawford.
We are on the white flag lap, last lap around for Danny Hansen towards his first NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series victory. Josh Berry, Jared Crawford, Kenneth O'Keefe, Josh Lawton, your top 5. Peter Bennett barely outside the top 5 after running in the top 5 for a long way. This evening going to finish unofficially in 6th. Benjamin Burmeister, Casey Malone, Dustin Montgomery, and Rich Doucette completing your top 10.
And outside your top 10, once I get this pulled up again, I'm looking at the ATV live chat room. A lot of interesting stuff going on in there as well. 11th is Brandon Schmidt. Nice rebound. Rob Ackley, we saw him lead a little bit after some strategy. He's 12th. Matt Boosa, 13th. Cody Bias with a solid run. 14th. Matt Witten. That might be his first top 15 of the season. I'm not sure. I don't want to go out on a limb and say that, but yeah, it might be. Jake Sturgis with a solid 16th. Chad Lawton losing points in 17th. Gilliland losing points in 18th. Landon Hoffman with a dismal night in 19th. The tuxedo car, which might be the Hawaiian shirt car, in 20th, Tim. I don't really think Connors will be satisfied with that 20th.
No, I don't think he will. He's, after running top 10 at Homestead, after running top 10 here, I don't think 20th place is going to be satisfying for him. Derek Crone, 21st, 22nd, Alex Chambrone, Vinny Sansone, 23rd, Jukka Savalainen in 24th, and 25th is Kyle Gatula, Philip Geis, Brandon Bookberger, Paul Kashiba, Carson Downs, Andrew Fayash III, 2 laps down, Brandon Cattell, 6 laps down, Wright, Tyen, and Brown complete the race, not on the racetrack, multiple laps down, over 30 apiece. Checkers are in the wind for Danny Hansen. Round number 5 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series goes to the Pro Geek Consulting Chevrolet Impala of Danny Hansen. Josh Berry finishes in 2nd with Jared Crawford in the 3rd. Big night for the 83 car, as we'll have to wait one more lap to see if Danny's going to do any celebrating in his Pro Geek Consulting Impala for his first win of the season.
And he gets to celebrate right now, which is a long time coming. Oh, don't hook him! Big 4X right there, but that's okay, the timer is up. But really good run for the 78. I can't say how proud I am of all of them right now, everyone that worked on the setup, and for driving, and all those guys with some good strategy to get them up to the front. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back with the ETV Live post-race show from Pocono. Don't go anywhere.
Hey guys, real quick, Danny Hansen down on victory lane. The crew is all jumping. They're excited. Jubilation. They're all happy as Tim and Mike testified that he gets his first ever NASCAR iRacing Pro Series victory. And man, it just got to be feeling good right now for the driver. You know, there's a lot of cautions in this race, but when it came down to the end of it, this race had to finish behind the toe of the pace car. But no doubt about it, Tim and Mike, Danny Hansen earned this victory today at Pocono.
Welcome back to ETV Live and the coverage of round number 5 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series from the Pocono Raceway. Your winner this evening is Danny Hansen down in Victory Lane with Mike Conti.
Well, Danny Hansen, 78 car Pro Geek Consulting Chevy, finally gets into Victory Lane. Now, Danny, Carson was stealing all your spotlight the first couple races, getting those top 5 finishes. Now it seems like he's kind of on the downward spiral. We're picking up momentum as we head into the mid-Pro Series swing. Tell us what this win is going to do for your momentum going into Kentucky next week and the races beyond that.
Momentum's huge. Going from the last transfer spot almost in Season 3 of Class A to a win in Pro is really big for me, and I never thought it would happen. Surprised myself, last 10 laps and doing all I can to hold off Josh, and it's just like, wow, am I really going to win this race? So, yeah, it was definitely big for me in this season.
We know you had a fast car tonight. I know you had a fast car tonight. I told you that before the race. Now, when you were running 3rd or 4th early on in that race with Crawford in front of you, what was, I know Loafing was up there with you. I know you had a couple guys watching, Josh Chin as well. What was the strategy at that point? Are you guys going to try to do something special at fuel, or are you just going to race it out and just get 4 tires and fuel every time?
We were just going big picture. Obviously, I had the electrical problems at Daytona, so we're just looking big picture. Jared Crawford, I believe, was the class of the field tonight. I could run almost a perfect lap, and he would still pull me by a tenth or half a tenth. Montgomery and Lawton, I think we could have hung up with them if it would have went green. I just wasn't going all that hard at the start of the race. I didn't want to do something stupid and break the car, because anything can happen at the end of the race.
So we talked about momentum. You're telling me that momentum is important. Now, going into next week at Kentucky, what are your expectations? Are you going to bring the Pocono car back there? Are you going to bring a different setup? What are you looking for next week at Kentucky?
I think we'll probably bring a different package there together. I've never actually ran the A car there, so I'm really not sure what to expect. But I have some of the best guys in iRacing working on my setups every week. Got you, Mike, Jason Loafing, Tom Lewandowski. They're some of the best guys in the game, and I'm nothing without them. They're amazing to work with, and I'm so proud of all of them.
Before I let you go, Danny, I have some good news for you. You're unofficially 4th in points, 33 back, coming from way back in the pack at Daytona after those electrical problems. I'm sure 4th is going to make you very happy going into Kentucky. So before I let you go, thank all the sponsors out there. I know you drive one of them Pro Geek cars, but who else makes it happen for you?
Yeah, Pro Geek Consulting, Matt Salo, he's huge support for us. Everybody at J-Show, like I said, you, Mike Conti, Jason Loafing, Brian Schoenberg, Tom Lewandowski, everybody over there, they do, Carson Downs, they do a phenomenal job every week, and like I said, I'd be nothing without them. JDR Graphics, and everybody else that makes it happen.
Alrighty, that's Danny Hansen, winner tonight at Pocono. Now we send it down to the 2nd place finisher, Josh Berry.
Yeah, guys, going to talk now to the driver of the number 27 entry, Josh Berry, also a full-time driver at the Motor Mile Speedway in Radford, Virginia. Al Schuler's Motor Mile Speedway, the drag strip nestled right beside of it. And I'll tell you what, Josh Berry, man, you did everything you absolutely could. But I think on that last restart after that caution, man, it was all Hanson from there on, and you got to settle for the bridesmaid spot. How do you feel?
Yeah, that was a good run. Definitely didn't qualify that good. We don't have a backup car, so I couldn't really push it that hard in qualifying. But it had a good car once I actually got out front. I made a pretty good call there at the end to take gas only on that last one just to make sure I could make it on fuel. And I got a lot of track position there, and I was sitting like 12th with 20 to go. So to get to second, I'm pretty happy with that. But definitely wish that would have went green.
This was a pretty eventful event, Josh. I mean, obviously, like you said, you wish the race would have went green, but this race saw a fair share of its caution flags waving tonight, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not really that surprising, but at the beginning, usually when they go green like that at the beginning, it's usually just everybody gets real antsy and wants to crash. So that's what happened. I was lucky enough to get some good restarts and make up positions and avoid the carnage. So that's definitely a run that we needed.
Being a driver that runs at Motor Mile Speedway, which is a regular, a real 4/10 mile track, and then of course running in the iRacing program here with the iRacing Pro Series, what are the similarities and what are the differences of the comparisons of the two?
I guess one of the biggest differences between them is just the fact that I think people's attitudes and everything are quite a bit different when you race each other, and you got to face the person after the race. But it's all racing, and you just got to be smart about how you go about things and how you race, and usually it'll end up all right.
And before we let you go, man, let's get them sponsors on that car number 27.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody at Cecil Crum Motorsports. We brought a new car. We only got one and two guys in the shop now. We added a guy after Daytona, but it was a good run. I just want to thank Jeremy Allen. He did a great job calling the race for me tonight. He was on the sidelines, so I just really got to thank him and thank my spotter, Tucker Wingo, and all the rest of the guys at Cecil Crum Motorsports.
Well, of course, that's the number 72. I got it backwards. My apologies. The 72 of Josh Berry, finishing to the bridesmaid spot. He did everything he absolutely could to run down Hanson and fell short. And, of course, the caution flag before the checkers really changed everything. Let's go now down to Jared Crawford. I believe Mike Connie's with him. I'm sorry. Let's go down to Tim Terry.
I'm down here with Jarrett Crawford after starting on the pole, finished in position at number 3 this evening. Jarrett, one of the cars to beat. I'm sure you're not terribly happy with third place, but it's a big points gain.
Yeah, it's a big points gain. I had a couple of, I guess, bad calls there. I probably should have taken no tires like Barry did. It just took me too many laps to get around the guys, and yeah, I don't know. I had a really good car at the start. That's evident by the lead I had, but it doesn't mean nothing in traffic. And I think if we would have went green to the end, I might have been able to mess with Danny and Josh if they got racing, but I don't think I had a shot for them.
Yeah, a lot of caution there in the second half of the race. Really threw a curveball into this thing, didn't it?
Oh yeah, I was really hoping it to go green like that first long run we had, because my car was really, really good on the long run. I mean, it drove like crap, but it was really good. And I was just hoping we could do green flag stops and just go to the end. I was going to do one more stop with about 20 to go, get 4, and just run the race out, but they just kept wrecking.
Now, unofficially in the point standings, it's going to put you, of course, in second place, 23 points now behind Chad Lawton. Are you thinking points? Obviously, the top 25 is the big goal here. But are you thinking points if Chad slips maybe one more time, you might have the door open to possibly battle for that championship?
Yeah, I'm conscious of where Chad is, just because I want to know that he's running good as a teammate. I don't know if I can catch him in points. I really don't care. I guess I run the race, and however the points fall, they fall. I just try to get the best position I can for the end of the race, and whatever happens, happens. And I hope the best for all my teammates, and hope they finish well, and if they beat me, they beat me.
We head next week to the Kentucky Speedway. What do we expect there?
Big question mark. I suck there, and I have no idea what we're going to do for that track. I'm going to probably rely a lot on my teammates, and hopefully they'll bring up something good as they always do.
I know you got some blank quarters on the car. Give us a sales pitch to fill those, and who else makes it happen on the team to get you to the track each week and get you the top 3 here tonight?
Well, first off, I'd like to thank all the guys at Wheelman for putting together another good car. We really didn't work too much on it because after the Homestead deal, after all the effort we put in that, we were just all deflated and didn't really, I guess, care as much. But we still put together a good piece, and I got Tim's Corner Challenge on the rear quarter, so I'd like to thank you, Tim Terry, for that. But the main sponsor, I don't have one. I am blank and looking for sponsorship for DWC or the remaining of Pro. I'm second in points, and I run good.
That pretty much sums it up. Jarrett Crawford finishes in 3rd this evening, 2nd in the point standings, and he'll be looking for that first win next week at the Kentucky Speedway. I believe we are going to throw it down to our 4th place finisher here this evening, which would be Kenneth O'Keefe with Mike Conti.
Actually going to be down here with the Cutter Herman, and nobody really got to hear a lot about Kenneth O'Keefe unless it was a damaged car racing up front at the end. You started 14th, you ran, up front with a damaged car. Talk about that.
Yeah, I got some damage there in that that restart wreck, and had a little bit of straight line hindrance there, but in the corners it was okay, and stayed near the front.
And I know you haven't had the best of luck recently, but you are currently up to 9th in the points. How is your outlook going into Kentucky?
It hasn't been too bad. I got a 5th at Phoenix, 4th here, and just hopefully keep going with that. The start of the season's holding me back, but we can just keep going and hope for the best.
And Kenneth, you were my pick tonight, so nice job getting me some points. But who else you got to thank for tonight?
Oh, that's cool. I got to thank MCR, Tanner Stoops, Charles Tyan, Josh Connors, and my main sponsor, Diablo Skins.
And a brief interview there with Kenneth O'Keefe. Now I'm going to pass it down to Wesley Outland with our 5th place finisher.
Yeah, thanks, man. I was just having a quiet chat with J.D. Webb. Everybody, keep him in your thoughts and prayers as he is still recuperating after having a operation that was just going to be an outpatient deal, and he ended up in the hospital for a lot longer, and now he's going to be out of the weather for the next maybe month or 2. But our thoughts and prayers are with you, J.D. Webb, in California. We love you, buddy. And of course, 5th place man, Joshua Lawton. Joshua, I'll tell you what, you get the 5th place position. How's your thoughts on a wild, hectic, eventful caution fiesta here at Pocono?
We got a solid finish out of it. Take a top 5. Had a car definitely capable of winning. Just made too many mistakes on that last restart to try and get something going to catch Danny, and then didn't help getting blocked half the time. So we'll take a 5th place finish, good point stay, and we'll go on to next week.
Yeah, at one point you and Danny and O'Keefe were right in the mix, and thought you were going to take each other out.
I guess it's hard racing, you can call it. It's just it is what it is. We'll just like I said, we'll go on the next week and try and better our 5th place finish. But just proud of this whole team. Will and we're top 3 in points. They brought cars capable of winning every week, and tonight was no exception. Just didn't fall our way.
Well, guys, the thoughts of the driver of that number 40 Chevrolet Impala. Sounds a little bit ejected for 5th place. Obviously, Lawton, you really would have wanted this race to finish under green and not under caution, right?
Yeah, I would have liked to see it stay green. We were definitely a top 3 car, no question. And Jared, class of the field, there's no one touching him. And you just keep getting cautions and cautions. And I put myself in a 3-wide situation there, trying to go for the lead, and it didn't work out. And unfortunately, wrecked the car. I need to apologize to Carson Down. I tried to give him as much room as I could, and I didn't. I don't know. I'd have to look at the replay. I don't know if the guy on the inside gave enough room or not, but I hate it for him. Ruined his night.
Yeah, it's a tough break. 5th place finisher. He'll get a top 10. 5th place, actually. A top 5 finish for the number 40 of Joshua Lawton. Final thoughts on this race, Pocono, guys. It was excited. It was intense. It was caution field. A lot of drivers took advantage of the opportunity to come to pit road, take on tires and fuel in many cases to try to stay ahead of the game, so to speak. But it seemed like when it was all said and done, it never came down to a fuel mileage strategy as the yellow flag fell with 3 laps remaining to end this race behind the toe of the pace car, where Mr. Hansen went on to get the victory. And guys, now race teams are going through post-race tech inspection with the NASCAR iRacing Sim officials, and they'll pack them up and get ready for the next time on the road. Next Tuesday night, they'll go to another great event, and they're down to halfway now in this 10-race series, 5 down and 5 to go. And here's Mike Connie and Tim Terry to close out the night and to let you know where the NASCAR iRacing Pro Series is going to next. I'm Wesley Outland. It's been an awesome pleasure working with you guys on pit road.
It was a great race tonight. Like I said, nice to see my teammate finally break through and get that win. I remember when I got my first win back at New Hampshire. That was a pretty cool experience for me. And I know Danny's on a high right now, and he'll be riding that until we hit next week at Kentucky, and that's going to be a completely different animal. 1.5 miles in length. Again, corners are completely different. A lot of bumps and dips in 1 and 2, 3 and 4s. Well, 3 and 4s, 3 and 4. It's bumpy and dippy, but it's not as bad as 1 and 2. So that's a pretty unique track in itself. So going to be a lot of hard racing there as well, and that'll be pretty fun to watch too. I really enjoyed tonight's race. A lot of hard racing, a lot of guys going at it, and it's always good to see. And like I said, I don't expect to see anything less next week at Kentucky, so I look forward to that. And again, we definitely got a points battle on our hands, Tim. The top 2 only separated by less than 17 points now.
And as Wesley said, it's halfway now. 5 completed and 4 completed and 5 to go, even though we're going to count that other race that we did get rained out. So we're halfway through the season now, and this is where everybody starts to figure out where they're going to end up in the points. We'll have a better picture next week after we leave the Kentucky Speedway for round number 6 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series here on ETV Live. Glad you can be with us here this evening. For the whole broadcast crew, John Westling, Dakota Erman, Wesley Outland, Mike Conti, my name is Tim Terry, saying we will see you next week when we say let's go racing from the Kentucky Speedway. Keep the hammer down, and we'll see you at the track.